And we're live. What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another West Ham Fan TV Friday night pint with the boys. Content's getting a bit thin, but we've got something coming back. How you been, boys, before we get into all of that?
Same old, mate.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. Just another week at work, and I've had a couple of days off, but yeah, I'm all right, mate. Sweet.
Same as me. I've had a couple of days off as well.
What
about yourself, Nick?
Do you know what? I felt guilty asking for a couple of days off after being on furlough for like 8 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it was.
It's I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm growing a grey beard. My beard's got loads of grey in it now.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that means I'm distinguished.
I've got a few grey popping up round the side.
Sign of wisdom.
I'm trying to pass them off as blonde, but it ain't working.
Hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. What are you all drinking tonight, boys?
The usual Bud Light. I've got like about 30 bottles of it in the garden, so I'm just working my way through that.
Colesberg.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've got a right.
I respect that, Scott. I approve that decision.
I get slated for this, but I'm growing quite fond of these, and I'm getting a little addiction. So I think I need to like put myself into rehab or something and come off it.
I am on
Coke Zero.
Yeah.
Friday night pint.
Half Coke, half vodka.
I've run out of beer, and I haven't had a chance to go out today. I was desperately trying to get somewhere. I went somewhere earlier to try and get some, but the queue was fucking round the block nearly.
You ain't got a cheeky little offie near you, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I weren't lining up for it.
Hell.
Yeah, there's queues all the time here. It's fucking ridiculous.
Jeez, man.
To the chat, tell me what you're drinking so we can get into it. Right, boys.
Someone just said that Galaxy Techno Beats is drinking John Smith's. He says it's good for you. I've never tasted John Smith's.
I have. I remember he used to have a widget.
Yeah.
So did the Guinness tins as well.
Yeah, Guinness tins used to have it. I my dad used to drink it. I used to think they were saying in the tin like it was off or something.
Yeah.
What the fuck was a widget?
It's like a little plastic ball that keeps the. I don't know what it does. It keeps it smooth or something like that.
Someone's going to tell us in the chat. I bet you that'll pop up in a second.
I remember that was a big advertising thing, wasn't it?
First one to tell us what a widget is for, it's got to do a dance.
See, I liked Guinness, but didn't like John Smith's.
Rat Boy's drinking orange juice. JP WHT drinking dark fruits.
No, dark fruits.
Lee Farrell's drinking Pernod Black.
Oi.
Nice. No Graham tonight?
Nah.
No, he can't come tonight, I'm afraid.
He's off tonight.
Okay, no problem. One of us has got to go to work, you know.
Fucking hell, Andrew Miles is on the vodka and Red Bull. He's on a mad one.
Hey, it's Friday night, isn't it?
That fucking sends you loopy, that.
There's a few people in here, one from Cyprus, one from Australia. So we're live around the world at the moment. Hello to everyone. Hope you're all safe and well.
Okay.
Good evening.
So this is going to start some debate, I'm sure. The Premier League will be back. It's going to be back, 29th of May. It'll be back in about 18 days' time. I'm assuming that the two games are going to be playing first will be the ones that will have a game in hand, and everyone else will follow suit the week after. Yeah. The Premier League is back. Is it right? Is it right that it comes back? Now, I've voiced my opinion so many times, and to be honest with you, at the moment, my opinion hasn't changed. I voiced it on Facebook today. Got a lot of shares, but a lot of arguments back. And to be fair, I respect everybody's opinion. I've got to respect everyone's opinion. So some people think it's good. Some people think it's a bad idea. What do you boys think?
I'm glad it's back. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's too soon. I think not only for the safety, but just the players' fitness-wise, because they're only going to start group contact training next week. So I'd have been, if they'd have said it was going to start sort of July time, I'd have thought, right, that's perfect. But I just think it's a bit too soon.
I think they're getting into that sort of now or never situation with the football. But do you know what I'm thinking? What they could have at least done, right, is play those games in hand and then end the season there. Like, get the games in hand out. So at least you're only playing 2 games, so you're creating less risk, yeah? And then go, right, season's over, so then there ain't them grumbles about, well, we still had the game in hand and now we're going to get relegated. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe they could have at least done that.
I understand what you're saying there, and I sort of agree with you a bit. But if it's safe to carry on playing, then I do want to sort of carry on playing. It's gutting that you're not going to be able to attend games, but I just think it's right that the season should end the right way.
Yeah, well, you can attend games on Zoom. That's apparently what we're doing. You can be on Zoom on the big screen and watch the
that's the sad thing. That's the only sad thing. But as long as the players are safe, all the people that are going to be in the grounds are safe, then that's the main thing. That's all that matters.
Scott,
Nick, can you? Oh, yeah, Scott. I was good.
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing. It's got to be done right. It's got to be done safely. I don't get the rush to do it. I don't get the rush to bring it back. You know, we all miss football. We all want football to start again, but it needs to be done right. The thing is, you look at the cricket. You know, the cricket. They're talking about bringing cricket back, and the players, international cricket, the players have got to go in a 9 week. They're staying in a hotel 9 weeks and being away from everybody else. I don't get how you're still having tests done and players getting positive results, and they're still earmarking getting these games put in on said dates.
I think
it's unfair because the things that Troy Deeney come up with saying about worrying about his family, things like that. You're putting everyone at risk just to get these games of football played until it's if every player was getting tested and they were negative, then I agree with it starting back up. But I think while you're still getting positive results, you can't have football being played.
And you know what the mad thing is, right, with the Troy Deeney situation? Obviously, Troy Deeney is like saying, I'm not training, I've got to think of my family. Watford are one of the teams that are like banging trouble with the relegation situation. So they're going to potentially be going into the relegation fight without their best player because he's not training or anything like that.
I think that Troy Deeney said that he's going to report back to training on Monday.
Yeah,
you got to understand where Troy Deeney's coming from, especially as one of their players was tested positive for coronavirus. So you got to be very careful. But as long as they're tested, every single player or everyone who steps foot in that training ground or in the stadiums on match days tested before games and that, then I don't see a problem because it seems to be working all right in Germany at the moment. And listen, we've gone. I think it's coming up to nearly 100 days since the last Premier League game. We've gone this long without the football. So if it means waiting until July to give them players a bit more to get their fitness up, because we're coming into a part of the year where it's getting very hot and these players are going to be not as fit and they're going to be playing an intense game of football in the heat. So their fitness needs to be spot on. But as long as it's safe for the players and everyone who attends the games, then I'm all for it. I want to see football back.
Yeah, no, I think everyone's agreed in that. I think we all want to see football back. What just worries me is that we come back now with still the positive results floating about. We get 2 games in, 3 games in, and all of a sudden we have to stop again. That's the big worry for me, and that's got to be the worry in some of the players' minds.
Can you remind us, Nicky, of what you were saying earlier? Because I remember reading your tweet and I remember agreeing with what you were saying. But the exact word, can you remind everyone what it was that you were sort of getting at?
Well, for my money, we're still living in a world where COVID-19 exists. We're still no closer to a vaccine at the moment. We're closer than we was at the beginning. We've slowly got to be getting back to normal. But in a world where you've got to restart this football with things like neutral venues being touted because they don't trust the fans, especially Liverpool fans, and that's not me being biased or anything like that, because, and rightly so, they're going to be having a celebration very soon if we get it going again. They're going to want to congregate round. They've got it's going to be very difficult for the police to control. We're still living in a world where tests are not. I know they're a bit more available now, but they're not readily available for everybody that needs them. What happens if we get a second spike and we need the tests again? All right. I know the Premier League are paying for it. It's not, the NHS paying for the tests and all that. But everybody that attends these training grounds are having 2 tests a week. One of the problems why we've got one of the highest death rates is obviously we're a smaller country than Germany. Germany had it a lot more under control. They was a lot more prepared for it than we were. We weren't very prepared for it. But when you look at the case in Germany and the case in Britain is totally different. It's a different kettle of fish. They have had like 10 times less deaths than us or whatever. I just think it's a bit unfair when you've had people. It just sticks a little bit in my throat when you've had people that can't be tested, and because they can't be tested, they've died very soon, and then all of a sudden, you know, they've got Premier League football, and they say, "Oh, well, we're going to test everyone twice a week," just flatten their money around again. If the second spike comes in, we need them tests.
That's bang on.
Yeah, it's better. I totally agree with you, mate. As I said, as long as it's safe. But one thing I don't understand is obviously they've scrapped some leagues around the world, and obviously the women's football's been scrapped now, and that. So why is it okay for the Premier League to carry on? Because basically it all comes down to money, because they're getting the pressure put on them from TV companies asking for money back because they can't fulfill the season. I mean, look, as a football fan, if it's safe to do so, just imagine we've gone this long without football. We're going to have so much football chucked at us in the next few weeks. It's exciting as a football fan, thinking every day of the week, when you're moaning, oh, there's nothing on to watch, you're having football every single day of the week. And even the BBC are going to be getting some Premier League games, and that hasn't happened since the Premier League launched. So that's massive as well. And that could sort of be a start of that happening in the future, that terrestrial TV might get some more Premier League games. But as Nicky said, and as we all feel, you know, it has to be safe. It has to be for everyone, because if Mark Noble called a meeting and said, look, our players don't feel safe, and they voided, they didn't want to play, and they got us relegated, we'll have to back the players, because that's how they don't feel safe going to work. If it's like me, I work in an office, but if I walked in that work on the first day back and I thought this ain't safe environment for me, I'd have been straight in my car and gone straight back home.
Yeah.
But the thing is that sort of
what's that?
What you're looking for.
The thing is that sort of grinds my gears as well. Look, I think Gio, that is so most leagues can't afford to continue. Premier League can't afford to stop, and that is a position they've put themselves in. This is a multi-billion-pound business, but their outlays are so much. This is why they're so keen to get going again. I heard a stat on TalkSport the other day that they've already paid out in compensation, because every month that the TV games go a month unfinished, they have to pay back some money. They've already paid back half the money, even if we get it started again now. They've already paid back half that money. So really, they can't afford to. But for me, it's not just about the players. The players are not the only ones at risk. There are people going to be needed in that stadium, from physios to medical staff to police to cameramen and all that stuff. For me, for my money, people keep on talking about the players. If one person that is involved in one of them football games goes home and a member of their family dies of it, then it's for nothing. Like that is a person dying for nothing. That we've been talking about. We've been talking about so much about, you know, nobody should go to a football game and never come back and all that. We've been through this for years and years and years. So if one person goes home, either dies or gives it to a member of their family and they die, it's a price that just isn't worth it.
What about if they do something like because I think the game in the end is Arsenal, Man City, and Villa, Sheffield United. Let them play. If everything's fine, there's no test positives during them games, then why don't they just? What they should do is just say, right, we'll play the next 5 fixtures. Then after that, season ends. And then whatever position you're in, that's it. But every Premier League club has to agree to that. And I know there's 9 fixtures left, so whatever 9 fixtures these teams have got, randomly select 5 games from that, and that's what they play.
Yeah, I think there's so much better things that they could do than they probably will do. I just want to read this comment here from Chris Harris. Just want to send my condolences to Chris, because he said, "Evening all. Would you join me in raising a glass for my dad? Laid to rest on Tuesday. Took me to my first game in '75. Was in the RAF in the 50s. Married for 62 years, and leaves 10 grandkids and 14 great-grandkids. Come on, you irons." I'll raise a glass to Chris's dad. Condolences, mate. Really sorry for your loss, mate.
Sleep well, mate.
Everyone in the chat, if they raise a glass as well.
KM, you guys are trying to avoid relegation. Give it a rest. Look, there is a situation where if we don't play any more games, West Ham could go down.
But I'm sure we've all said if it's safe, we want the season to carry on.
But if it's safe,
that's what I'm saying. So we're not trying to avoid relegation. I couldn't give a shit if West Ham went down as long as everyone was safe.
They haven't even said. But they haven't even said if they void the season, we will be. We don't even know that if the season don't carry on, that we won't go down because they could do that stupid whatever the fuck rule is. Yeah, points per game. So if they don't, we could go down anyway. So people saying that, I think they're really. I don't know why they're so paranoid. Look, the Liverpool fans, when as soon as someone mentions anything about people question the safety, they're like, "Oh, no one wants Liverpool to win." It's not all about Liverpool.
Look, give them the fucking trophy. I don't give a shit.
Give it up. Listen,
give it to them. Shove it up their arse.
I'll drive it up myself. I'll drop it off at Anfield for them if they want. Honestly, I don't care about Liverpool winning. Listen, it don't matter. This season's always going to be remembered as the season with coronavirus. So it's look, and at the end of the day, Liverpool deserve to win it. They've been the best team in not only in England, probably in Europe this season. The way they play football,
probably to be fair. When you think about the competition.
The thing that makes me laugh is they were the biggest advocates to cancel the women's game due to safety.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? This is the different thing. Ray Chapman says lawsuits would be massive. Yeah. Of course, they would be massive.
Yeah, I think even when in France, when they cancelled their season straight away, I think it was Monaco. I think started a big lawsuit because they missed out on the Champions League when they were.
I think he's referring there to if someone catches it and gets really ill.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like a domino effect of lawsuits. It could be for anything. It could be
Mark Sherburn-Brown. Look what happens if a decision goes against you. Players are up in the face of the officials. You can't social distance. The league, the way it is at the moment, and this is another reason why. In my money, it's not.
Why don't the players wear them big inflatable balls?
That'd be one way.
Finish the season off like that. Imagine that.
You need to do it like netball.
All seriousness, right? How committed are players that are sitting in mid-table? How committed are they going to be? Honestly, how committed will someone like a Crystal Palace be and all that? And for me, the whole league at the moment, the way it is at the moment, is just it's tarnished. It's the whole thing's fucked. To be honest with you, and I don't think when you're making such big decisions, and I'm not talking about obviously West Ham have got a big chance of going down. We could go down. It's a massive opportunity that we might go down. We've got to play Wolves and Tottenham. At the minute. I wouldn't fancy us against either of them because they've got better teams than us. It's as simple as that. And everyone's back and everyone's fit. It depends how much we're up for it and all that. But when you look at the likes of Burnley and things like that, who are sitting just above it all, how committed are they going to be to getting results against other teams?
I think you said it yesterday, mate, when you said that obviously you got the 2 games in hand. Once they're played, the Premier League will have a look at it. As I said earlier, have a look at it. If everyone comes through that game, them 2 games, and there's no positive test and that, then move on to the next game. They've got to take it game by game, but they've got to make that decision whether, because you can't, as Scott said earlier, you can't go 2 or 3 games and then just think, right, call it off. You've got to make that decision now. Maybe let Sheffield United, because if Aston Villa win, they jump out the bottom 3, and I think Bournemouth go into it. If you want to end the season now, then that's it. There's big decisions got to be made all round.
It's big ramification. Lukey Malden says if someone does die, the Premier League will be finished and have nothing but blood on their hands. I mean, I don't know if it will be finished forever, but I think a lot of people will be fired. I think it will have massive ramifications on the Premier League.
I think what he means there. I think what he means there as well. I think fans will give up on it. I think the fans will give up on it.
Yeah, I think, there'll definitely be a huge backlash. So they've got to be so careful with this. So like you said, take it game by game and be as careful as possible.
If they could bring it back and they're turning around and saying, right, we're going to guarantee 100% that nobody within this, when each of these games are played, is going to catch it, then fine. But you can't do that. How can you social distance from a corner?
See, this is an interesting.
You can't celebrate together, but you can stand next to an opposition player and tug his shirt at a corner.
Gio says Bundesliga have agreed that if they stop again, it goes to how the league table stood before they restarted. Now, I don't think that's correct because if you get 5 games in and say teams move right, say Aston Villa move up to mid-table, then all of a sudden they scrap it like the Bundesliga are saying, and then they go back down into the relegation zone.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
All right, but check this then, right? Say we do the first level of round of fixtures, yeah, and we play Spurs. Just say we play the Spurs game. Spurs, batter us, heaven forbid, and then it ends and we're relegated, right? And we'd say, well, when you look back before the coronavirus, Harry Kane was out, Son was out. They had so many injuries, so we'd be like, we've played one game, so we haven't got a chance to try and get some more points up. We've played one game now where they've got all their good players back, but they wouldn't have had them players before. I mean, it's such a mess either way, no matter what happens.
That's what I'm saying. There's no right or wrong in this whole situation.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one. I'm glad I ain't got to make the decision. But then again, if I was in charge of the Premier League, I'd have just scrapped it weeks ago.
The problem is, I think the Premier League, the format that it's in now, has backed itself into a corner where the outgoings are so vast, and the money involved is so vast, and they're giving away all their money and the transfer fees and the fucking wages involved in thingy now. And this is only because of Sky is backed them so far into a corner that they can't afford to do that. They can't afford to not carry on. It's gonna have massive ramifications, and hopefully, that's why the likes of financial fair play and all that was brought in to try and stop these clubs from overspending, and they have overspent. They've overspent and overspent and overspent to a point where, apart from about 10 clubs in the whole of the league system or football itself, to be quite honest with you, only 10 will be able to ride out the storm. Yeah. And what does it do? It just makes them a lot stronger and all that. The whole thing is corrupted because of this virus. I'm afraid to say, and I hate to say that because, I wasn't enjoying the season. I'm going to say that for one, because it was topsy-turvy. But, the whole thing coming to a stop, having this long off now, 100 days is more than a pre-season, I just don't see how the integrity of the league stays.
So this KM is making a point about everyone's going back to work. Footballers are not exempt. I mean, I don't think everyone ain't going back to work, but you got bloody Nando's are open. They're opening up the retail shops. The difference is I understand what you're
saying with that. Yeah, you're right. I don't go in the office and mark someone at the coffee machine. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's social distancing. Football's a totally different thing. So, but it shows you how greedy football is, because not only have they just decided to bring back the Premier League, they've already put in dates for the FA Cup. Yeah. You're talking about the FA Cup final on the 1st of August. It's ridiculous. You're talking about the semi-finals in the end of July. They're worrying about that too soon. Like, let's just get these first round of games through, see how it goes. I mean, I'm sure every club, probably not the fans that are doing well in the FA Cup, but I'm sure if they turn around and said, look, let's scrap the FA Cup, because I can't remember who's in it, but I believe there's only Premier League teams still in it. I might be wrong.
Man City.
Yeah, there's
Arsenal.
Just Premier League teams still in it. So I'm sure if all the Premier League teams turn around and said, look, let's scrap the FA Cup. But they're more worried about, this is what I'm saying, it all comes down to money at the end of the day. And there's
no massive ramifications, is there, really, of scrapping the FA Cup? There's no like, oh, well, if we get relegated, we're down in the Championship and we might never come back up. So,
but that goes to show the state of football's in when you're sitting there saying scrap a cup competition because of there's no financial ramifications of it. Football over the past 20 years has been mismanaged finance-wise from the top all the way down, even like the National League side and things like that. And this now has to be a wake-up call for a lot of them. They're now talking like National League and League Two could go north and south. So you have League One, then you'll have League Two South, League Two North.
I thought it was the Championship, though.
No, that's League Two and League One. League Two and the National League.
It's not what another West Ham account posted earlier on.
What about I forgot what I was going to say now. Yeah, but don't they do that in sort of like the Reserve League and things like that? Like that when they split it north and south, and they do that in the that cup competition as well. So I don't know. It's all over the place, isn't it?
You have it below the National League as well, don't you? You have the National League North, National League South, which is below.
If they do that in the Championship, right? If they do split up, say we get relegated and they split up and they go, right, Championship North, Championship South. I think if we was going to go down, to me, that would be a little bit more of as much as it'd be nice to visit a lot of them grounds up north, like just the schedule for the players and everything, just them midweek game and then a bloody weekend game, all the time, and you can get some mad fixtures. So it would actually be a little bit more beneficial if it was just right. We only had to go in the south, we only had to travel around the south, and it'd probably be better on a lot of fans' wallets as well. To be honest,
my mate Lee just said give the FA Cup to Arsenal. They've had it like 13 times. Like, fucking don't be greedy, mate. Get back to work on Monday.
Yeah, I bet I know what bloody Gio's laughing.
The thing is, the great thing about this debate is, look, everyone's got an opinion. I respect everyone's opinion. Like there's people in here calling us snowflakes and all that sort of thing. I don't care if you want to call me a snowflake. That's the way I feel about it. You got the way you feel about it. Mark, the way I feel about it ain't going to change anything. It's going ahead. So fucking tough titty on me. You know what I mean? But
I think everyone feels the same. They want to see football back. But as long as it's safe, and you can, we don't want to see anyone suffer. We all want to see football back. I'm sure all four of us here, we all love football. We live and breathe it. We want to watch it. We'd love to attend it, but unfortunately, we ain't going to be able to. But the next best thing is all the games are going to be on TV, so we can sort of watch it anyway. But yeah, it's going to divide opinions. Listen, if West Ham was in the FA Cup semi-final, I'll be sitting here now saying, listen, you got to go ahead with that FA Cup. You've got to fucking play it. Listen, I'd take a relegation, just give us the FA Cup. I'll take that. But
look, a lot of people are like having a go at Liverpool fans and all of that sort of thing. I'm not going to sit here having a go at people because that's their opinion at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We don't know. In a different universe, if we was pushing up the top of the league, we might be sitting here going, no, it's got to go ahead, So unconsciously, that sort of thing might be, influencing my decision. But when I look at it, as a human being, you know what I mean? Look, I want football to come back. It's what we do on this channel. It's what we've done for 5 years on this channel. Of course, football benefits us. But as a human being and someone that's seen families, attend funerals of their people and of their sons and their dads and their uncles or not, as the case may be, I've got to say my human instinct takes over and just says, look, until, of course, I know that there's an economic, recession coming up, and I've been affected by it more than anyone in the current climate. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tough few months for us all. But looking at it humanely, do I support a load of multi-million-pound footballers going out, running around, risking everyone for another load of multi-millionaires that want to make more millions? Not really. It's not in my. It's not in my list of top priorities. But
this is where football players need to take a stand in, because if the way I see it is that football players are happy to go back. So if they turn around and said we don't want to play, then there's nothing the Premier League can do. So if the football players made a stand,
I think they're a lose-lose situation with that, though. I think if they come out and turn around and go, we don't feel comfortable playing all that, then you'll get the people on the bandwagon of, people on minimum wage are all back to work. Why can't you lot go back to work?
Right, let's take some comments before we go on. Liam McCarthy says, do you think the results will be unfair without fans? Some clubs rely on atmosphere. I think the results can be unfair no matter what way you do it. Crossed Hammers say, no, you haven't, Rice, on my wedding day. I don't know what he's referring to there.
No, he's on about the FA Cup. I said semi-finals. I didn't say we was going to win the semi-final. I was just happy to be in the semi-final.
Dean Felton says, been West Ham all life and I'm used to the haters. They ain't got our passion. Sam Zini says, I wanted it back because I was losing my mind. Now I know it's coming back. I don't really want it back. Depressing weekends incoming again. I enjoyed the break.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's been happy on their weekends. Like, West Ham are going to come back 3:05 and we're going to be 2-0 down, and everyone's like, fuck this.
JP says football divides opinions no matter what the subject. Of course it does, mate. That's why we're here. Sky and BT have a lot to answer for the pressure has come from them money-wise lads discussing health over money all day long. Absolutely, Ray. KM says people sneaking out and going to shit parties. Sex parties, I think that's meant to say. Sex during a lockdown. And then there are people saying it's too risky for them to play. I do agree with that. There's been a lot of players.
Grammys tonight.
Yeah, but listen, KM, what I say is, look, the sex parties, they're still risking. They're still putting a risk in, but they want to go. It's not all about, like we said, the football players. It's not all about worrying about the football players. It's about who else is going to have to go and work them games apart from the football players. You know, you can't say the bloody groundskeepers, the people who go and, you know, manage the bloody pitches and all of that and come out half time, water it, are going out to sex parties. You know, so it's not just about the players.
Well, I would suggest that the only people that can't afford not to be paid are the ones that ain't players, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, if anyone can afford not to be paid, it'd be the players.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with the staff behind the scenes, they can social distance themselves. You know, like with using the example of the groundskeepers, they can work and keep apart from each other. Because it's no different to where I go work with my crew. We can keep apart from each other. They're all right, but you know, the players will come into contact with each other on the pitch and then go home to their families. That's the risk that they've got. That's the big problem, because they're together in the. You can't social distance in the changing room. I'd like to see them try. You know,
let's be honest, mate. Our midfield have been social distancing all season. So
here's a good question: words and pictures. When would you restart football then?
As I said, I'd probably start it as long as it's safe at the end of sort of July time. The players need some sort of training, because they've only, I think it's from next week they can start contact training, and they can only do it 15 minutes at a time in group, which is ridiculous. They've got to get their fitness up. I know they've been doing their things at home and things like that, but there's difference when you're on a pitch.
Did you see a picture of Kevin De Bruyne I sent you?
Yeah, I think that was the angle of the camera though, because someone put another one up and he still looks Slim Jim. But I'll have a 30-stone De Bruyne in my midfield any day, all day long.
Over fucking Carlos Sanchez, certainly.
You know what I mean? But I think July would have been a better time. But that's just my opinion.
I just think, you know, as we speak right now, right, we're talking about it's 2 weeks away. As we speak right now, we're all sitting in our houses still. We're not allowed to go out. We're not allowed to see our friends. Monday, it becomes a little bit more relaxed. I understand. I would like a little bit. Yeah, I think what you're saying there, right? It's not all about the training and all that. It's about the longevity to see how the spiral is going. You know, as you say, it's still about, you know, people are still catching it. There's still areas in the country that are higher. What's to say that these people like West Ham or Arsenal or Tottenham and all that don't go up there and then start bringing it back again? You know what I mean? It's possible. Anything's possible. And, you know, there are still areas in the country as we speak right now that the experts think that haven't seen their peak yet and all of that sort of thing. I don't know. It's just, I just think it's a little bit too close to the bone. Let it, you know, the hot weather's here. Let it die down a little bit. Let it level out a little bit till it's as low as it can be, and then think about it.
Where's
right
that
now.
Screaming coming from?
It's obviously
it's here outside. The fucking kids are out here, aren't they?
what are they screaming? Is someone torturing them or something?
They're playing in the garden over there.
I thought I was hearing things.
Jeez. That's a bit,
you are right, Nicky. Like, and that's the thing. What, you know, I just think, as much as I want football back, we should just scrap it until September. You know, the
thing is, though, then it has a knock-on effect with next season, isn't it? And all of this, and then the bloody tournament, the European tournament. Like, they're going to have to be a cut-off point where you just say, you know what, we can't finish this season. We're just going to start the next season afresh. It can't go on forever.
How does it work out with championship teams coming up? Does it stay as it is? Top two come up from the championship. Then what happens about the third team? Have they finished their season of championship?
I don't think they have finished it yet. I think they was probably waiting for the Premier League. But with the championship, it's easy, because if the Premier League carries on, then the championship will just freeze, and whoever the top two are will come up. And then I don't know what they do about the playoffs. Maybe they might just have a mini sort of playoffs in the summer or something. But
yeah, I'm sure that's
the only other option would have been 2 down from the Premier League, 2 up from the Championship.
Which is hard on the people that are in the playoff places. It's tough. It's a lose situation. But Gio says they're planning to play it to a finish, I think. So
yeah, I think so. I haven't heard nothing about the Championship, and there's a lot of money in the Championship as well. I think they can sort of survive during this sort of difficult times. I think the Premier League has obviously pumped money into the lower leagues as well. So
you're saying with the thing about there's different areas in the country that are suffering. I know Middlesbrough's had a lot of cases lately. Newham's one of the highest in like sort of local authority council.
You know why? No one in Newham fucking does what they're told. That's why.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. But like, you know, an area like Middlesbrough, you know, it's Middlesbrough's, you know, they've got a bigger population than Newham, so to speak. So you've got the football club there. How do you know that?
You'll normally find that the areas that are going to be most affected are the areas with the higher amount of poverty.
Yeah.
Because, you know, look, I grew up in Newham all my life. It's got a high rate.
Yeah. Pop over the fence and slap the mother.
Do you know what? They're about 3 gardens away. They're jumping on a trampoline. I can hear
3
it.
gardens away. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, honestly.
Sounds like it's in your garden.
You can literally, you can literally hear them in Australia. Because some of them Australia's watching. So
let me try and turn my gain down a little bit. That helps.
Yeah, that might work, and then just speak a little closer to the mic.
What it is,
just lean over the fence and go social distancing and slap them.
No, they haven't been fucking social distancing all the time that we've been here, mate. Don't worry about that. Where was I?
There's more than
the areas with higher sort of poverty rates and on the lower end of the economic scale are going to, because as soon as people said you can't go work, and people think, fuck that, how am I going to get any money? And they just go anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You're always going to get that sort of, I don't know. It just.
It seems like a lot of the players, some of the players from what I've seen, do want to go back, though. I've seen, like, Antonio seems to be excited. I know. I see Fornals was like, do you know what? It was actually he was talking about how it was really affecting him mentally because he's come to this country on his own. He don't know anyone really here apart from the players, and he's been in lockdown by himself. So he's basically just been in this isolation just on his own all this time. And he's like, I think, been going out of his mind a bit. So I think he's welcoming everything starting up again.
But there's a lot of players. You talk about players, mate. There's a lot of players that ain't adhered to social distancing rules at all.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, how they've got away with it, right? When there's people out there that are getting fines and all sorts of bits and pieces. And you've got Jack Grealish and Carl Walker and some of these others. And it's just like they've just got away with it. There's going to be a lot more than that, mate. No, but that's what I'm saying. But they're the ones that
have been caught.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. They've been caught. So if you've been caught, why hasn't there been anything happened to them? Any fine, anything? Like a lot of people are getting that have been breaking this lockdown.
That's where money talks.
That's what I mean. The rich people, they just get away with it. You know,
the rich people don't think the rules adhere to them. That's the thing, and it's
you know what I mean. You got to remember back at the beginning of lockdown when it was like Declan Rice and Mason Mount were out playing football.
Yeah.
So it's these players. I mean, there's probably been a lot more players that have broke them rules and.
Yeah, because like you said, like Nick said, they don't think that the rules are adhered to. A lot of the rich people, it's like, that's only the peasants. They're only talking to the peasants. We can do what we want because they're just used to doing whatever they want. So, yeah, I think it's a joke, to be honest. But I tell you what surprised me, right? I was looking at, like, there was a tweet came out about the players that are fit and training. And it's like Creswell's injured and Antonio isn't able to train. I think he had bereavement.
He's back today.
Yeah, I think he had bereavement, but like Creswell's it like you'd expect. Like I was going into it thinking, right, we're gonna have full squad, everyone fit now, and I think there might have been one other player who picked up an injury or something. Bonner. That was it, Bonner, and it was just disappointing for me because you go into it thinking like, here we go,
but we don't know what sort of injuries they've picked up. They could have picked up injuries where they haven't trained properly for ages, and it's just like a little strain or something. I mean, it's good to see.
Disappointing though, isn't it?
Yarmolenko, Wilshere's back.
If you look at the players that were missing, it was Cresswell. I know Antonio's had a bereavement, but it's been Cresswell, Ogbonna, Lanzini, and someone else. And they're the four people that in our squad that we're talking about. I don't think it's a good idea and all of this sort of thing. They're the ones that spoke out. If you look through past interviews, Ogbonna said it, Lanzini said it, Cresswell said it. They've all got their own reasons.
That's a good point.
Then all I've got to say to that is fair play to them.
You know, it's easy to just turn up. If you've got apprehensions about going back, it's easy to just phone up and go, I'm not coming back, I'm injured. Or I'm not coming back, say what you want.
Yeah, but why don't they just do a Troy Deeney and say, I don't feel comfortable, they have to lie. I'm not saying they have because we don't know the story. The club might be lying.
That's what the club have released.
If let me put the if in there. If they did lie about it and if they did feel the need, so I'm injured, I can't play, I don't think you need to do that. Just do a Troy Deeney. If the club are lying about it, you don't need to do that. Just say they're doing a Troy Deeney. Everyone will respect it. If Creswell says I don't feel comfortable because of this, I'd say, do you know what? I respect that. Any player that says that. But the thing is with Troy, do you know what? Actually, the one thing that would change my mind on that, Troy Deeney's been getting some bad abuse from a lot of Liverpool fans mainly, but people abusing his kid and all sorts. So
I've seen people say that. I've seen people tweet Deeney and on his Instagram and that saying that he hopes his kids get coronavirus and die. Now, if you was a football player, and you was Troy Deeney as a father, why the fuck would you want to go back? You're getting abused like that.
Yeah.
And some of that was from well, you don't know if they're fake accounts, but Watford fans as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, it could be. Well, Watford fans. I know there was definitely some Liverpool fans because they're feeling like, oh, he's saying that now, and that means they're going to cancel the season because he's saying he don't want to do it, and he's part of the problem. But yeah, on that, I would not blame any players if they felt and they needed to lie and say I'm injured because of these nutters that will go out there and be like, oh, your kid gets corona, right? Your kid gets corona.
Yeah,
fucking weirdos, man. It's just
anyway. Let's get onto some of the comments. This is a good question from Manoli Mainas. I think it's going to have a very short answer. Would you start Wilshere in the next game back? No, I fucking wouldn't.
No way.
No, I fucking wouldn't.
No, but the thing is, I don't feel the way Nicky feels as much about it. I wouldn't put the fucking in just because my feeling is I wouldn't start him in the first game back, but I would like to see him maybe give him one last little chance. So with him, where he's been out for so long, you can't just bring him straight back in, ease him back over time. I don't know what you feel about this, Ryan, but I'd like to see him maybe the last game, bring him as a sub, all of that, ease him in, see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm exactly the same. I wouldn't start him in the next game if everyone's fully fit because he's been out for such a long time. But he's definitely can add something to the team. But it's just whether he stays fit, and that's a big if. We know with Jack, he looks good in training, and then he picks up that injury and he's out for 6 months.
I think he definitely wants it. Like his commitment and dedication. Like you can tell, he just wants to, have a good, really, show his dedication to West Ham and just have a good experiences.
I've got no doubt that he wants to do something, Dan. But I'll be honest with you, what I've seen of him in the few games that I have seen him, especially at the start of this season, he just looks off the pace. It just doesn't look like
it's hard, isn't it? Though,
of course, it's hard.
If he can get, yeah, exactly. Like he has done, he scored obviously against Newcastle, didn't he? As well, did he get his assist in that game? But he shows he's got something. If he can get a run, say he got a run of like 10 games, which I know seems almost impossible at this point. But he did do it at Bournemouth. If he can do that, then he can start get up to speed. And maybe we can see that Jack Wilshere that all the Arsenal fans were hyping about.
I think every West Ham fan wants Jack Wilshere to be fit and do well because, as we've said, on his day, he's an absolute talent. He's such a good player, but he can't stay fit, and that's the only problem. But if he gets a run of 10 games, which is a big ask, then he will create chances for Haller, Bowen, and players like that.
The thing is, now we've got someone like Bowen. He's the sort of players you want making the runs. He makes the runs that other players don't, that Wilshere will find.
Jack Wilshere is the sort of player that he doesn't need pace. He can just pick up that ball and just pick out a pass. Yeah. That's what he needs.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen any evidence of that in a good few years, to be honest.
I just don't think we haven't played the way that suits to have Wilshere in our side.
Well, what's the point in playing the fucking way that suit him if he's played 7 games since he's been here?
That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem because he's always been injured, and this is the thing.
Maybe he can fit in under a David Moyes West Ham. Maybe that's a chance where he can.
But he doesn't. You look at our midfield coming back if everyone's fit. Rice and Souček are taking the 2 centre spots for me.
Oh, fucking without doubt.
Yeah, but let's be real though, right? We're probably gonna have to rotate the squad. Because I don't think you're going to be able to have the same 11, right, when we go back every single game. I don't think a lot of the players are going to be up to it.
And I think that's for every team in the Premier League.
Yeah. That's it. So we're not going to necessarily have Rice be able to play Rice and Souček, because Souček is coming off the back of an injury as well. So not as long as Wilshere, but he's still coming off the back of an injury. So it might be a case where, especially even as a sub, like you bring in Wilshere on as a sub, like 80th minute, and then you see what he can do. I think there might be some space there. If he gets injured again, that's when you know, like, the writing's on the wall, it's done. Like, he might as well retire.
Of course, you've got to rotate the squad as best as possible, and having a player like Wilshere sitting on the bench to come on, whether it's 20 minutes to go, half hour to go, will be a big bonus, depending obviously what position we are in at the time when he's coming on. But having him fit and available is good, because, like you said, there's going to be a massive squad rotation week in, week out. But there's other places that really worry me with that squad rotation within our
right. All right, let's get back on to the comments. Hammer's chat say they'll get hammered down. I think it's good covering it up if that's why they're not here. That's
I sort of changed my tone on that, didn't I? Like
Lee Davis, evening, gents, and the goat Scott. Good evening, mate. Mark Sherman Brown is braver to talk up, absolutely, but we're talking about footballers. I wouldn't expect them to be brave. Victor Fence says Lanzini has been missing all season. Kent hires. I wouldn't hammer any players if they don't feel comfortable playing. I have massive respect for them. So guy. Barry Allen Jones. The most worrying thing is, out of 27 games in Germany, only 5 teams have won at home, and 12 away teams have won. We won 5 home games. It seems that not having no fans at home gives a boost to the away teams. Do you think it's a neutral game would be better for us if it's the same in England? I'll let one of you guys go first.
A lot of people would say that our home games are neutral ground anyway, wouldn't they? That's the running joke, isn't it? Really. So it's a tough one. I can't say until I see it. It's just going to be weird for everyone, I think.
It's going to be like watching, when you watch these pre-season tournaments. That's what it's going to feel like. It's football fans make up obviously the atmosphere at a game, and it's going to be weird. I mean, if West Ham go 1 or 2-0 down, they're not going to have the fans there to sort of give them a bit of grief or get them up, and it's just going to be like their heads are dropped.
No, we'll all be on Zoom. Get all here.
We'll pop up on the screen, but the hand-picked fans will pop up on the screen when we win. We all know that. Fucking think they run the club. Fucking run the club.
But the thing is,
bit of controversy.
I don't know back with them pricks. Trust me.
The thing is, having no fans in the ground, every venue's a neutral ground, isn't it? Let's be honest. Even if you're playing at your home ground, it's a neutral venue. You've not
probably
got
a slight advantage, isn't it? Travel.
It might actually suit them to play home games without no fans there. It might suit them. I mean, if they went on and won fucking 9 in a row, I think they should play all games next season behind closed doors.
I wouldn't go to another game. We can all boycott.
The thing is, as you say, Scott, I know what you're saying about it's neutral. There are slight advantages. It's like not travelling, sleeping in your own bed, being in your own comforts and all that, and all these little things.
Yeah, but that's it. That's the thing. Neutral venues, they're still going to be travelling. And it's not like, they sleep in hotels out, all together before a game, things like that when they're at home. I just don't think it makes a difference without fans being there. I think fans being in the ground, if the ground's enclosed and it's close up, it puts pressure on the away team. If the fans more spread out, it puts more pressure on the home team.
Yeah, but don't forget the pitches as well. They're slightly different. You get some that are, a little bit wider and things like that, depending on where you go. Like, obviously, when we was going to Upton Park, it's different compared to here, So you get
Chris Harris says, having possible injuries during an extended period of no football is the epitome of West Ham way in recent times. Ray Chapman says, only one player dies of this, the Premier League will be finished off. How can you come back from that? If it got scrapped, there's no lawsuits, end of.
What Luke said,
Gary Singh says, I believe we will play better with no fans at the ground when we're at home. I tend to agree, to be honest. We ain't got the greatest home record anyway. Candyman says, I hate Deeney, but that's disgusting. Absolutely. Football teenagers make me sick when it comes to social media. Oh, they make us all sick, mate. Samuel Penzini, that's disgraceful. Phil Ferdini getting abuse there. I'm well behind on the comments here. I'm going to have to skip forward a little bit.
You're on last week's comments.
Yeah, Adam Page. My big issue with how we're going to go going into these closing games, like you just said, we ain't got the fans to push us back. If we're losing, we could be doomed for relegation. Look, if we're doomed for relegation, because if we're doomed for relegation, it's not going to sway my opinion.
I think we're doomed for relegation because we've been poor all season, not because we've been poor in 9 games.
Yeah, we had 27 games before this one to sort it all out, but we didn't.
We know what I looked at the table today for the first time in ages, and I forgot how fucking
close
how close we are to relegation. It's mad.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The table's so tight down there. I think if there'd have been like a bigger points gap between third from bottom and fourth from bottom, they might have sort of thought about it. But it's so tight. It's literally goal difference.
Yeah.
It's so tight down there, and that's why that's the football fan in me wants it to come back just to see how this season's played out. Because and that's just being a football fan. But as a human being, I'd rather see it scrapped, and I've said that since day one. But if there is any chance that they can get it back and it's safe and we can see out the season, then it has to be done. In my opinion,
I want there to be, as a selfish point of view, I want the season to play out at some time, not at the risk of lives, not anything like that, not right now. But I would want it to play out at some point, because I also think, and this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of everyone else here. This is just me being me. Is I think that the two owners need to look at where we are at the end of the season and face up to their mistakes again, because we've had such a poor season once again. In this stadium that's meant to be pushing us onto the next level, we're doing a little bit like Sunderland now. We're just flirting with it, then getting out of it at some point of the season, and then just so poor. But I've said this, we need to know where we finish, whether we go down or whether we just escape it, or whether we bounce up the table, and you don't know what might happen. But they do need to feel the pinch a little bit. They need to feel where they've gone wrong again, because I think because the pressure and stuff was mounting them before all this kicked off. I bet you as soon as that fucking season got suspended for how long it's been suspended, I bet they fucking breathed a sigh of relief when it happened, because they thought, "God, fucking hell, this could save our fucking skin."
Yeah, because I forgot about all the protests and that were going on, wasn't it? There was the protests and all sorts of stuff.
And as much as I agreed with the protests, and I'll back them all the way, I think that when this first game comes back at home, when fans can attend, then these protests need to hold back and just let fans go there and enjoy being back at football, and then carry it on after. I agree with what you're saying about the owners have to feel the pressure, but I think there's more sort of important things to worry about now than the owners at the moment. I think that will always carry on, but at the moment, I think we should just worry about sort of getting football back and fans being allowed to attend football again. I understand that the owners and that will never go away. That's the one good thing, is they'll always have that pressure on them, and hopefully they will look at this in the summer or whenever the next transfer window is, or when the season's finished, and they will back David Moyes, because I think even if we go up or down, he's still going to be our manager next season. So they've got to back him, and they've got to give him the players that he needs, and we have to improve.
I don't think people would protest first game back. I think it'll be like a party atmosphere. I think it's going to be.
You'd like to think that, but I have seen some comments on Twitter about people saying about protesting.
I think it would be very selfish of people organising protests to organise protests on the first day. Yeah, because you need to let people blow off a little bit of steam.
The funny thing is, though, is that it wasn't comments from the people that actually organised the protest. It was from people. It was from people that are just trying to stir things up on social media and things like that. So,
I don't. Yeah, it's just I just think that they have to feel something. They have to feel relief. They have to feel, disappointment. They have to feel, a sense of joy. They have to feel something for them to acknowledge just how close this season is to once again in this brand new stadium and all that, taking us down to the championship. Let's get a little bit more fucking positive comments, Gan. It's a bit of a depressing one.
I know. We were just saying, I did want to put, we have
Maybe
actually got a
last week,
Sunderland
so.
fan watching, you know. There's a Sunderland fan that says, get rid of Moyes, you could end up like Sunderland. He fucked us right up. Good show, lads. Keep it up. That's nice for a Sunderland fan watching. But I don't think they will. Even if we want him gone, I don't think they'll get rid. I think they're committed to keeping him. So we'll find out if we will do Sunderland or not.
Gio's made a good comment. I think there'll be smaller capacity on the first game back too. I sort of agree with that. I think they will sort of, and that's going to be controversial itself. Everyone's going to want to attend them first games back. So how can you tell people, Dan and Scott, you can't come to this game, but me and Nicky are allowed to go? It's not fair.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that.
But that's the thing, is it's like then like you're gonna have a smaller capacity, and then you're saying to like, oh right, you've all got social distance by in the ground.
Yeah.
Can you really
do you know what though? To me, if you was going to discriminate, it actually makes more sense to allow me and Scott to go, and you and Ryan and Nicky not to go, right? And I'll tell you why. Because surely if you're going to have the small amount of fans right there, you're better off having the fans that are closest to the pitch, because that's how you at least get the atmosphere. If you start having the people in the upper tier, you have these big gaps down the bottom.
Well, surely the fans further away from the players would make more sense. And plus, who's going to do fan cams? Because you two won't.
And me and Scott have done fan cams. We've done fan cams a few times. Obviously, one time it was a disaster. But no, I mean, like,
it's going to be. I've got to have one of them. You know, one of them long stick mics.
It is a good one. Dan, I'll let you answer this one, mate. Barbecue meat of choice, boys. Me a pork chop. Says Crossed Hammers.
Human. Nick Tucker.
Come down. What's your barbecue meat?
Oh, this is a real fucking hard-hitting question, isn't it? All these questions, that we've got about DR. Who do you think this player is going to leave? We're going to sell this. What about this? It's like, oh yeah, barbecue. What's your favourite barbecue? Real insightful question there.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's breaking the ice, isn't it? Like, it's breaking it up a bit. I love a fucking proper nice spare rib, mate.
I love a decent steak on a barbecue.
How do you have your steak, Scott?
I don't know what Amma's chat is scoring with Dan 1, Ryan 3, by the way, full time. I don't know what the score is. Otherwise I can step up and try and come back.
You missed a penalty. I don't know what it's for.
The comeback is on once I find out what it's for.
My mate Ali Suleiman's kebabs.
Oh, they were nice.
They were absolutely fucking superb. That's my favourite one. I ain't had one in 15 years, but
yeah, they were nice.
Yeah, they're not
Does that count as barbecue?
Huh?
Is that kebab count as barbecue?
Yeah, of course it does.
On a barbecue?
Yeah, but it's
a shish.
Yeah, like a chicken shish.
It was a beef. It was a beef one, actually, or lamb. I think he done both. To be honest. It makes my mouth water. Hammerman TV, West Ham Fan TV, thank you for inspiring me to create a YouTube channel. You're welcome.
No
I guess. Don't know how much nonsense you're in for, to be honest. Adam Page, fans not being into stadiums in a way is like a protest in itself. Maybe the club and players would appreciate us more than they do if they don't take us for granted. Gents, Adam Page is having a party. Bring your vodka and your Charlie, I suppose.
He's having a party.
I hope you're social distancing at that party, Adam. I tell you. I think he makes a good point. You'd think they'd appreciate us more. You'd think they'd realise how important we are after seeing that, but you can't. You just don't know, do you?
I've got to answer this question because this one's going to.
Yes, you do.
Oh bloody hell, Nicky! We had that question last week, and you was like, "Yep, we got it sorted." And now,
I'm going to tell you a reason. So, Trucking Amber says, "Nicky, what happened to Blockbusters?" Now, we've got a Blockbusters in the can, and I said I would release it last week. But what happened last week? I don't know whether I said this last week, but I got I had a job lined up. I lost my job at the beginning of March. If a lot of you don't know, I had a job lined up, and I was meant to start on the 20th of March. Now, because of the virus and the lockdown, I kept on getting pushed back and saying we can't start you yet, but we're looking to start you soon. And so they had me on a string for about 2 or 3 months, nearly. we can't start yet, can't start yet. And about a week ago, I got a phone call from them saying, look, there's no job there anymore. So what I've had to do this week is because, like, you know, I've got to start thinking about earning a wage now, you know what I mean, as well as doing this as well. I've had to be just writing covering letters, firing off CVs all day and all of that sort of thing. And I've been doing interviews and virtual. Yeah, listen, you don't even have to leave your house now doing interviews. It's amazing. You know what I mean? It's all on Zoom, and you've got to do these questionnaires and all that. And I've been so busy this week, but there has been a little bit of better news. There's a couple of offers on the table, so I've got more time this week. My CV's been sent to as many people as I can, and you know.
Quick question, Nick. Do you wear a suit to these interviews over Zoom? Do you get the old suit?
Yeah, he don't wear trousers. He just wears a tie.
but I point the camera down now.
Lee Davis says Blockbuster schools used to get the pinnacle of intelligence Scott Collier on. I agree. Episode 2.
Right. So what we're going to do, right, is I'm going to bring Blockbusters back. Blockbusters is going to come back on Monday. Now, mark my words. Monday, Blockbusters will be back. We're going to start getting some more content. But Ryan, it's a bit of a spoiler here. Ryan's going to need more opponents, right? And I think he should take on some of the people from the chat and stuff. I think that we should invite people on. We'll probably have a little like competition on Twitter or something, retweets or whatever on the next episode of Blockbusters. And somebody can take him on. Now, we're going to start getting football back. We want to get people back in the mood for football and all that. But we like Blockbusters. I fucking love doing Blockbusters. I thought it was brilliant. I think it's a brilliant idea. And what we'll do is we'll get the members of the public to take him on. Yeah.
Right,
and if they beat him, they'll win a prize. We'll win one of our T-shirts or one of our glasses. Hear about that?
Do you know what I love? Right?
If they win money,
and he's now the fucking quiz master.
If they win money,
you be the fucking quiz master then, Bob.
No. I'm not.
You know how much? Do you know how much fucking time and effort one of them episodes take, mate? Writing all them fucking questions out.
The program was good. I'm just saying.
This is gonna be. Oh, we should do this. Can you do a version of In for a Penny? You ever watch that?
No. Tell me.
You got to watch it. It's brilliant. Stephen Mulhern does it on a Saturday night. In for a penny, in for a pound, and it's honestly, it's brilliant. It's they just have to all these little challenges and things like that. Like one of them is like people pull up to a petrol pump. They've got 2 pumps. Like say they want to put 40 quid in. They've got 2 pumps to get bang on 40 quid, and they pay for your petrol and things like that. But there's loads of different challenges that he does. But it's really good. Not a lot of people like Stephen Mulhern, but I find him quite funny.
So what we'll do to be part of Blockbusters, when the next episode goes out, we'll get you to retweet it. We'll set on here next week, and you got till say Monday to retweet it and to share it. And then somebody who retweets it or shares it, we'll pick them at random. We'll get one of them little spinny wheel things to pick someone at random to take him on. How about that?
Oh, where's it gone?
There you are.
You should do the weakest link. Do you remember that program? I could see Scott in a pair of Anne Robinson bins with the snow look. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
You know what? It's been so long since it's been on. I forgot the actual rule. Is it like they just go? They go through the names. Right? Here's your question. Here's your question. Like, it's been.
Well, you got to get a chain, haven't you?
It's like a chain. It went
up. You all worked together, didn't you? Yeah, that's it.
And then they vote each other off. They all turn on each other at the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be quality to do that. If we could get enough people, that'd be so good, man.
Galaxy Techno Beats, can you give me a shout out, please? There's your shout out, mate. Get the fans involved, absolutely. Ray Chapman says, let's do this. He fancies a bit of Blockbusters, I think. Blockbusters was.
I ain't taking on Ray. He knows quite a lot.
Blockbusters was something different in the States. Never mind. What was it?
Blockbusters was a video shop, wasn't it? It was a video shop over here as well. Yeah. But Blockbusters was a quiz show over here. So,
a question of sport. I think that's a little bit too cliche, to be honest.
Yeah. You want something that weren't about sport, but you put now.
What about the Krypton Factor?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Let's build all the assault courses and shit. And
another question that we got in the week.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could do Bruce's Price is Right, but you know you do higher and lower. It's players. It's players, and you have to say who's got higher appearances, lower appearances, or more goals. And
That'd be a good one.
yeah, you like that? That's claim that. That's ours. You're not nicking that, Gio.
Yeah. No, but you could. That's what I'm saying. You could do transfers. It's the price is right, right? And you can pick players, right?
I should have said that.
Tell you what, please get gladiators on this, because I want to fucking whack down with one of them sticks, man. I want to whack him out like that Shadow used to.
I want to go against you up the Travelator. Well, how about that?
Travelator?
Yeah,
you can pick up an escalator, you cunt. If I had an escalator, you had a Travelator, you still beat me.
I want to see us all hanging on the rings. Like that. I would just drop, mate.
That would be funny.
Look at this. Mark said, Dan, I can organise an army assault course. Let's all do that. Should we all do the army assault course?
We could all go on West Ham Fan TV SAS. Jesus Christ. That makes me like when I watch them struggling, like watching that show, and I'm sitting there eating a doner kebab with a beer, I feel a bit guilty, like they're probably struggling, bless them.
Raymond said West Ham Fan TV Bullseye. You know what? I'm making it a thing. When we come back, we are doing West Ham Fan TV Bullseye. When everything's back, we got to do that.
You're going to drag the boat round.
I think my nan might have a toaster from the 80s in the loft that you can have giveaway as a prize or something.
Yeah, we can go in all like lofts and shit and get.
Here's what you could have won. Here's what you could have won: a speedboat, and you live in the middle of Birmingham.
The thing is, as long as everyone can come back, and that might be something we do in the future.
Yeah, like I think once we get back, everything will be
like a pre-season or something when there's no football, because fuck me, it gets rammed when there's football on. But when everyone can get back together and all that, obviously you can't do a lot of these game shows remotely, like Bullseye and things like that. But you're gonna have to have like 40,000 fucking cameras set up, ain't you, to do like Bullseye and that. But we could get something sorted out with, we could get other people involved, other teams' channels, like the Arsenal boys, the Liverpool boys, and all that.
I think next summer we should just have a massive fan TV channel 5-a-side tournament.
That's me out then.
No, you'll be
didn't
all right,
we say that last week? Didn't we talk about this last week?
Nah, it'd be all right.
But yeah, it's that we can look in the future. A lot of people have asked me this question as well in the week. What would happen when football comes back? What are we going to do about the post-match pint? Which from Monday we can all get together, 6 people in a garden, whatever. Now, initially, I would say we do it like this. This is how we're going to do the post-match pint.
I think for the first few weeks it'll be like this.
Yeah, I think initially we'll do it like this, in this sort of format, a live format, straight after the games from our own homes and all that. Because just getting everyone into one place from where we live after we watch the game is going to take fucking a day anyway. So initially I think we'll do it like this. When we're allowed to get back together and watch the football together, then that's when the post-match pint will come back in the format.
That's the good thing about watching football from home is it ain't going to take long to get home because you're already home. So not all them days of... But then again, give me them days now where it takes like 2 or 3 hours to get home. But the good thing with doing it like this is that you can sort of have a couple extra people on post-match.
Yeah.
A few guests or something like that. So... Yeah,
but there will be post-match pints. There will be live streams. I'm getting I've been speaking to Gio today.
Not only that, Nick. Maybe you could do a show on your own just after the game where you can interview fans. The fan interviews. There's loads of things to do. So
we'll be doing that again. Then we'll be doing for our patrons. We'll be doing exclusive Patreon content coming up to the game. Scott will be back with his previews. With an haircut like something out of fucking Beatles. Look at him. Fucking hell.
He's holding on, mate.
Hang
on. It was about 2 months ago. I see he's got 5 left. So you got about 4.5 haircuts left. What's that? What's that?
Getting a ponytail.
Yeah, that though. The back of my hair's curling up like a judge's wig. I need to.
I got out of the shower before we come on, right? And my sideburns were curling upwards. It's coming off this week. It's coming off. It's too hot.
Yeah, it's like there's plenty of stuff we could do. We'd be building it up during the week. I used to do something called the Thames Ironworks Breakfast Club, which we was planning on bringing back at home games anyway for patrons and things like that. So yeah, there's loads of things. There's loads of things that we're going to be doing. I was speaking to Gio today about a designer to sort of obviously, you don't want to keep on seeing brick walls behind your fucking in the background and all that sort of thing. So we're going to get sort of like green screens, and we're going to have all these fucking sets designed and everything else. So, you know, it'll be a little bit more like what you've been used to. It'll be a bit more interesting to watch and all of this sort of stuff. So, yeah, there's going to be loads of things we're going to be doing coming up as the football starts again. So hopefully back to some sort of regular content. But I'll be honest,
it's going to be back to us sitting there moaning about West Ham, how shit we've played.
I don't want.
That's what the fans want.
I don't want the Friday night pint to finish because I've enjoyed it so much. It's got me through a fucking rough period, to be honest with you. Like sitting here speaking to you boys and all of that sort of thing, speaking to the people here. It's been a real like uplifting experience. You know, reading people's comments.
Going on there, look.
Yeah, so you know, I wouldn't want it to end. So maybe we'll bring this back. We'll sort of integrate previews into the games and things like that.
Yeah, you can. This can sort of be like a Friday night pint preview show. So we talk about the game that's coming up on the Saturday or Sunday or whatever. If we play on a Friday night, we do it on a Thursday night. So yeah, I've enjoyed it too. It's good. It's good having everyone letting your hair down. Scott Neal ain't got any hair left, but
the thing is, Truck and Hammer says you've got to keep Friday night pint. It's easier said than done when you're doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, especially with the lot indoors, especially when you're taking over the front room. You know, it's a little bit easier said than done when it comes to that. And I've got respect.
Thursday night pint's got a bit of a ring if we need to do a Thursday. Like I said, if you need to Thursdays.
Yeah, well, that's when West Ham Fan TV Live and Uncut was, and obviously this is replaced Live and Uncut for the time being.
This still is Live and Uncut, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's the same thing.
We've just let more people into the room.
Yeah, I think we should we tell this to fuck off next week?
Yeah. once, we can have up to 6 people now from Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what in the chat? Yeah. Well, that's the limit of bloody StreamYard as well, isn't it? 6 people.
We'll get pissed, man. Before it comes back, we'll sit here on a Friday night pint. We'll sit here for about 4 hours and all get proper pissed.
I do that every night. No, he's joking. No, do you know what? I need to cut down on the old beer from Monday. That's it. Next Friday, I'm not having a pint. I'll have a green tea or something. Just like,
I'll
have one of them. Oh, I need to, mate. I've let myself go in this fucking lockdown. I was doing so well.
We all have, yeah.
I was on the old fucking Instagram, like doing the workouts, and then I went back to work, and it's all gone fucking tits up.
Is there anyone
it's gone tits up, and my tits have got bigger?
Like Scott, you've probably put on weight as well. I know I have. We've all everyone's put. I'm not digging you out, singling you out.
No.
I'm just saying, like everyone in the chat watching must have put on at least a few pounds or so. Like it's bad, man.
I think I've lost weight.
Have you?
I think so. Yeah.
That's
I think
bloody
so.
Good. The only one.
I've been doing a lot in the garden and stuff, though. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I ain't been doing fuck all else. I've been sitting around playing the PlayStation mostly and playing with my son. But
but you used to eat where you were driving about. Like you used to eat quite a lot.
Yeah,
you ain't been able to get takeaway, have you? That's why. No takeaway, all of that. If you're not going to the shops and buying loads of fizzy drinks all the time, that's going to save it.
When I have been, I've had to walk because I took the car off the road. I haven't driven it since I stopped. So we've been walking up and down, and you know, to be honest with you, mate, anything's kill a bit of time. You know what I mean? It's been that fucking. It's been that depressing at times. You know what I mean? I've suffered. I'm gonna like. I see someone there just say it's been so depressing. Look, I see a guy earlier say he's been on lockdown since the end of February. Same as me, mate. I ain't been out of my my house barely since end of February. I haven't been out at all. You know, I lost my job, and then I've been at home looking for new jobs. It's been tough. It's been tough mentally. You know what I mean? There's some days where I get up, I don't want to get up. And
you know what? I don't even know what, like James. I don't even know what a sugar honey iced tea is. But if it like send us the ingredients. If it's
sugar,
that's probably right. Fucking, I've probably been like finished up there, ain't I?
It's shit. It's an acronym for shit.
Is it?
But it's not an acronym. Well, shit is the acronym for Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
shit
what people
any
say.
day. I like
It's
that.
what people. It's like when you say "see you next Tuesday" instead
Yeah,
of.
but that look like
See
saying
you
when you
next
walk into a cocktail bar and I'm like, yeah, I'll have a sugar honey iced tea,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah, sugar
and a
honey.
flaming
iced tea.
sambuca.
That's what people say when they want to be polite and say shit. Yeah.
We'll be doing watch-alongs again, won't we?
Yeah, of course. I think you set that out. Definitely.
Someone's there about watch-alongs, so I thought I'd chuck it in there.
Dermot
Yeah, I
O'Keefe
think
said
we
Nicky
do.
were at Southampton game. I was at the Arsenal one as well. So maybe it's a bit less time. Just seems longer.
Yeah, it does seem like a bloody long time.
What's
doesn't
that?
It seems like it's been forever.
Yeah, that was the last home game, wasn't it? Southampton.
Yeah, I was at the Arsenal one. That was the last one, and I was out on the piss that night. So
Arsenal away, wasn't it? Yeah,
I'm lying. I'm telling lies.
when was that? That was about 7th of March, wasn't it, or something like that. So it's gone quick. I mean, it's not been ideal, but it's gone quick.
I'm just seeing though. Someone just said someone would dump in your glass in Canning Town, Ryan.
Someone will dump in your glass. Yeah,
I think he's referring to your sugar honey iced tea drink that you want to have. You're up.
Do you know what? I was speaking to one of my mates yesterday that I ain't seen for ages, and we've organised that once the pubs are back open, all that, I'm going to meet them. So I'll be in a boozer in Canning Town with a few of my old mates. So maybe I'll ask one of them to shit in the pint glass for me, and I'll stream it live.
I'll tell you what, something that I couldn't believe. In 6 months' time, we're going to be looking at Christmas. That's how it only just seems like the year's begun because of all this virus and stuff.
I said that to someone in work the other day. I said, like, there's only 6 paydays left till Christmas, and when you say it like that, it's fucking frightening how quick it's gone.
Can we just give Christmas a miss this year? Can we just like?
I need Christmas more than ever, mate.
Nah, Christmas is the best time.
I love a bit of Christmas, and if we can meet people,
I think, yeah, like
it's ag though, isn't it?
At Christmas, isn't it?
This is the vibe. Where do you stand on Brussels sprouts? Because I fucking love them.
I'm with you, right? I love.
Yes, Scott. Give me a touch, Scott.
Nah, I hate Brussels sprouts so much. My mum makes me at least have a couple on my plate, even though she knows I'm going to eat them. You got to have some on your plate.
Send them to me. Bring them on.
I'm gonna. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save up all the Brussels sprouts over the years, and I'll finally give it to you.
Brussels sprouts are the worst thing I think ever. My brother,
Trucking Hammer. He's already got his tree up.
my brother absolutely loves them. I think they taste like little pockets of fart.
Yeah, but
it made me
that's
sick
what I think they taste like.
when I tried it. I literally threw it up straight away. Awful.
They fucking taste horrible. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Christmas.
Black pudding. I'm a black pudding man. Can't be a bit of black pudding.
I had that for the first time last year, and never tried it, never fancied it. Had it stuck on my plate, and it's actually quite nice.
Yeah,
it smells like feet.
It's what people tell you it is. That's what puts you off. Get around that, mate.
Right. These things, right? This is going to be a bit controversial. We're turning this into a cooking channel. We got told off last week for turning it into a cooking channel. Right? But this, I've got to say this.
Come dine with me.
Would you eat, Dan, close your ears, mate, because you're going to hate this.
All right.
Would you eat hearts?
No.
Lamb hearts?
No, because I've seen Graham's had them before, and no, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
my mum probably could.
I've never tried them. I've never tried them. I think if you give them to me and I didn't know where it was, I'd probably taste it. But if you told me that's a heart, I probably wouldn't eat it. I'm one of them people.
I fucking love them. Stuffed hearts, mate, are the best things.
Graham raves about it. He says your mum's stuffed hearts, mate. He absolutely loves them.
Tracy's treacles, they're called.
Stuffed hearts are my absolute favourite. I don't get to have them that much because my missus just won't suffer them in the house. You know what I mean? I respect that, but yeah, fucking stuffed hearts, mate. They're my favourite, absolute favourite. But I fucking hate liver.
I like liver sausage. Does that count? Anyway, is there any more West Ham stories? Because this is going back to come dine with me.
All right, let's go. What are you most looking forward to seeing when the season restarts?
West Ham winning.
Yeah.
Is there anything that excites you a little bit?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
excited to
looking
see
forward
more of Jared Bowen. I'm excited to see more of what he can do because I don't think we really got to fully see him get going and get right. I'm excited to see
I'm the
Suchek as
same.
well.
I'm looking forward to seeing, Bowen and Haller and Antonio continue that partnership they had just before we went into lockdown, because I think, especially Bowen, he was sort of like just getting into the stride of the Premier League, and it was quick. It impressed me how quick he actually took to the Premier League, but that's the signs of a quality player when they can just make that step up. I'm looking forward to, obviously, Suchek, seeing how he develops, because I thought he was doing well for us just before we broke up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing football back. There's only so much TV you can watch, and I mean, I've got Sky Sports News on in the background now, and the presenters, the way they drag the news out, I feel more sorry for them. And you listen to TalkSport in the morning, and they're struggling to come up with stories and things like that. So I just want football back. I just want normality back.
Yeah, no, see, I thought we turned the corner before the lockdown. We were playing some good stuff. We were playing some good football, and like I said, Bowen coming in just seemed to. Bowen and Suchek just gave us a massive lift, and that's what I'm looking for. So I just hope we hit the ground running and start how we sort of ended performance-wise.
It's just the fucking question mark on the effect, isn't it? It's just a question mark on how this whole fucking late. Obviously, it affects everyone, but it's just like it could just backfire for it. So you don't know what it's going to be like, innit? It might end up being like walking football. Everyone,
you know what it's going to be though. Where Nicky's going to ask this question after the first game back, and I'm going to say, like, I'm looking forward to the season ending.
yeah, exactly.
I'm looking forward to.
Just lost 4-0 at home to Wolves.
I'm looking forward to not having to walk up the stairs at St James's Park.
Well, you don't know, mate. You might have to for charity.
Even if I had to, I wouldn't.
That's your forfeit.
Yeah, fucking twice. Let's have a look, see what some of the comments are saying. I'm getting cold a little bit now. I should stop doing this outside.
Did you see saying about the Newcastle takeover might not go ahead now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking
man.
Crazy, isn't it?
You know what? Boy, I'm 50-50. Part of me, look, I feel sorry for the Newcastle fans and all that, but part of me, the selfish side of me, kind of hopes it happens just because, like, the jealousy aspect. And could you imagine, like, that they might as well just give up? Because the amount of times they thought they were getting rid of Ashley, and this is the time they thought it was done. And imagine they're like, no, not happening. You're stuck with him. They are gonna be fuming.
I mean, just quickly, one player we ain't mentioned. I just seen someone comment. I was going to say about it there. Felipe Anderson. I'm looking forward to seeing him as well, because I know, like, you look at him on his Instagram and that he looks like he's really looked after himself during this lockdown. So I'm looking forward to him. And as someone said yesterday on Twitter, and someone just said it there as well, without having the pressure of the crowd on him, he might step it up a bit. And that shouldn't be right, because he should be out doing it in front of the fans. But it'll be interesting to see how he develops in the next few weeks. Once the season starts.
I've got to agree with Dan Woodford in here. More of Pablo Fornals, quality player. Station.
Definitely
3576. It's me crying in the mirror on a Saturday night. Chloe Hawk says, where will the games be available to watch? On the telly.
I think they're mainly on Sky, but I think the BBC have got the rights to some of the games as well, which is, as I said earlier in the show, it's going to be interesting.
How did they swing that then? Because obviously Sky already had the deal when they had these games. So is it like the free
showing every game?
BBC?
I think Sky actually offered it to them.
Yeah.
The thing is, Dan, like when you think about Sky on a weekend, it's it's 2-3 games, whereas the BBC, I think, have got a lot more resources in cameras and things like that. So they're going to be filming some of the games for them, I would imagine, as well. But they're showing every single game on the telly, and every game's going to be a staggered kickoff. You're going to have football. You're going to have a game on from Friday night till Monday morning.
It's like that Mitchell and Webb fucking sketch, isn't it? Football, all the time.
Yeah,
it's got to be all right though, because apparently the BBC are going to give El Dorado to Sky, so you can watch El Dorado again, Scott.
You got, it's going to be BBC. I think have got 4 games. Sky have got the biggest majority, but it's
got 25. I thought they got 25 games in a BBC.
No, I thought they've only got 4. Sky. Yeah,
I think it's 25. I think it's 25 games. There's 90 odd games left.
Well, Sky are showing 25 on Sky, but for free. If you get
Don't
what I mean.
you mean 4 games a day, Scott? Is that what you mean?
No,
4
I'm
games.
sure BBC have got 4 games because Amazon have got the others. You got BT, Sky, BBC, and Amazon Prime. Sky are going to have the bulk, but Sky are doing 25 of them for nothing. So you haven't got to pay your subscription.
People like Amazon have had it right off, haven't they? Let's be fair, because they only had them fucking ones over Christmas. Samuel Pizzini says Antonio's goal celebrations is what he's most looking forward to. Stephen O'Leary, I'm sure he's aiming this at me. Liver or Roberto? Fucking slap that liver in my mouth, mate.
I don't know. I'd like to whack Roberto on a barbecue.
Lee Davis, looking forward to see Carlos Sanchez doing skills. Adam Pay to see whether they can continue their partnerships. I want to see Fornell's given a chance when he returns. Nicola Mayer says saying goodbye to Sanchez. Samzini X6 says Wolves will be a tough start. It would have been a tough game anyway, mate. James Dunlop says what I'm not looking forward to is seeing Sigurdsson playing in our midfield again. Oh man, that's a bit harsh. I thought he was a decent player.
No, he's dropped off the boil massively.
Archie Hewitt, the Giants of West Ham take on the Titans of Norwich, making them both look normal size.
Oh yeah, that's from the old Mitchell and Webb thing. I love that. He's like, it'll never be decided who has won the football.
Ryan, can you show me a tattoo on your left arm?
What is it? What is it? A tiger.
It's you, Dan. Have you seen it before?
Could you imagine he's got a tattoo of me on?
Tiger with a dragon going across.
Having a fight.
Has it got like was it something that you just like the design, or has it got a meaning behind it?
No, my favourite animal is a tiger. I love tigers.
They fucking hate dragons. They had it whooping one's ass.
And I just like the design. I wanted a chess piece, and but tigers are my favourite. I love tigers. I love them. Love them to bits.
There you go.
I wouldn't want to fucking take one on, but I've been lucky enough to hold a cub, a tiger cub. But I wouldn't want to. I don't like when people have their pictures done and all the tigers are drugged up and things like that. I don't agree with all that. So I looked. I remember holding the little cub, and the geezer went like, he hasn't got any like teeth. Put your fingers in his mouth, and he was like biting down on it, and I was thinking, fucking hell. And then fucking, I was thinking to myself, you're going to grow up to be a right fucking nasty bastard, and you're going to go on this little Carol Baskin.
Yeah, that's what that little mullet's for. That little tuft of hair at the back. He's growing a fucking mullet.
He's growing a mullet.
Carol Baskin. Killed her husband, whacked him. Ryan, do you sing country? Right, exotic.
Do I sing country? Yeah,
I bet you do.
Let me have a few more beers, and I'll do. What I'll do is when we end this, come on about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll do a live stream on my own. I'm just sitting there drunk, singing "Country Road, take me home to a place." I'm just
the country fans say that.
I bet I know 1,000 country songs, right? If you put them in front of me, but the only one I can think of is that one by Nelly and Tim McGraw.
I can't even.
Achy breaky heart, Nick. Achy breaky heart.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicky always sings that. That's his party piece.
Yeah,
he's one of them ones that sits there like, who wants to go on karaoke? Go on, Nick. Nah, I'm all right. I don't want to go up. And then he just rides up.
What about the cowboy?
He just whips out a cowboy hat. He's got a cowboy hat on, a pair of boots. He goes, I'm not really prepared.
I hate that song with a passion. I bloody hate
the microphone out of his pocket.
No, how can you hate Achy Breaky Heart?
Because it's annoying.
What?
How can you like Achy Breaky Heart? How can you do a heart, my achy breaky? Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Brilliant.
It's one of the worst songs.
I've seen you listen to Adaway, so don't tell me about bad.
Whoa. How can you dare talk about Achy Breaky Heart and Hadaway? Right? What is love in the same sentence? Hadaway's a banging tune. Come on. Anytime that comes on in the club, everyone's up for it.
I'll sit down. I'll sit right down.
Matt Powell.
When Achy Breaky Heart gets up, I'm out like that.
Oh, yeah. Doing a fucking
Matt Powell managing YMCA. So we'll go me, Nicky, Scott, and Dan. Ready? Y.
M.
Go on, Scott. You know, C, they ain't dyslexic.
Who was next? Whether it was
I
me
thought
or
it was
Dan.
me.
Scott can't spell, that's why.
But that's not singing. We're just doing the YMC.
Yeah, ain't it?
No, wait, YMC. Oh yeah, A, yeah.
That's like diamond.
YMCA.
I like that can't see, can you? So
Well, is going back to country, right? It's that song. I'm gonna take my horse to the other. Would that be country?
Oh, that kid. I don't know. A lot of the country fans
That's
said no.
that Billy Ray Cyrus.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
That's
No.
his original song, though, isn't it?
Oh, Billy Ray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
Well, that was his song. I thought you meant that the kid that done it, the young kid.
No, I don't know who does the rap on it, or I don't know who he sings it with, but yeah.
Have I seen Robbie Lyle do reggae? I've seen his videos, mate.
I think he's retired.
2 sniff, 3 sniff, 4 ain't no joke.
Proud to be black, you know I'm proud to be black. Proud to be black, you know I'm proud to be black. Mate, I was there through the 90s.
You was there. You was going to his shows. You're one of his big fans.
Yeah, he's hairstylist.
He's roadie. He's hairstylist.
Yeah, a bit of
That's
Kenny
why you've got the
Rogers.
same hairstyle.
That's
Yeah.
the best country song, Island in the Stream. But I can't listen to that song now
That's
without
true.
seeing Nessa and Uncle Bryn singing it from Gavin and Stacey. Whenever I hear that now, I always think of Uncle Bryn singing it.
Fucking hate Gavin and Stacey.
Oh,
Sorry,
what?
Ryan. Sorry, Ryan, but
I'm logging him out. I'm logging him out. Man.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I just can't stand it.
We won't be talking about that DBZars. I think we need a bit of light in this show. I don't want to be talking about that. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else. Has anyone else got anything else?
Only somewhat. James says he only listens to heavy metal. I know Nick Tucker's in the room. He's obviously the heavy metal hammers. Scott likes a bit of heavy metal, didn't you?
yes, mate.
Yeah, I like a bit of Iron Maiden.
I'll be honest. I'm not really into a lot of that. I'm not really.
You like Westlife?
No, I don't. Listen, don't knock them. Don't knock Westlife, mate. I don't mind some heavy metal, but I don't like the heavy metal that, you know, when you see this like proper head banging like that stuff in the Cart and Horses that night. Was it, mate? That was. Mate, I walked in that pub. I thought everyone was having like a fit or something, and they was just like all jumping around, and I was like, "Nah, mate, get me out of this."
The thing is, I like, if it's a good song, it's a good song, no matter what type of music it is. It's just what you prefer.
Yeah, but you have the genres that you gravitate to more, that you like more of the songs in this genre. Do you know what I mean?
I like music that I can listen to and understand what they're saying.
Philip D. Macaulay says, Nicky, can you do Triple H's entrance song?
Scott, why don't you show us your Triple H impression? Funny enough, I was only looking at that photo the other day. I'm going to post that on Twitter.
I'll tell you what, Philip. Ask Charlie Walsh from Hammers Chat. He'll tell you.
What will he tell you?
He'll tell you if I could do it or not.
Nicky can't do it. That's why he won't do it.
Time to play the game.
He didn't say which one though. He's had several. He might have asked you to do it.
I'll do that one.
He might want the first one. You know when he was all posh and that.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Ryan's still got a pair of trousers like that. He went
I still dress like that when I go around Morrison's, like prime pedigree. What was his name? What was his name? Hunter Hurst Helmsley, wasn't it?
Yeah. Looking down at all the peasants.
Matt Powell says, King of Kings. Behold the king.
Yeah.
The king of kings.
See, Nicky's right. Nick's right. Motorhead. Yeah, Motorhead done all right.
Yeah.
As a metal band, just kept themselves going.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, there are certain songs I like, but it's just that heavy stuff. When when they're screaming down the mic.
Yeah, that's like
you're like, all right, mate, just sing a bit of like. Little bit of like Neil Diamond or something, Sweet Caroline. Like, you know what I mean?
No, that's death metal. There's heavy metal, which is your Iron Maidens, your Metallicas, all of that. And there's death metal. And death metal is the...
And that's what it should be.
I remember my mate
it makes you deaf.
One of my best mates I grew up with turned into a goth. And I'll never forget, right, I used to go around his house like as a kid. And we used to sit around there playing like Mario and all that, Super Nintendo and all that. And one day I went round there and he painted on his wall Cradle of Filth, right? And I went in there, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, he comes in, his mum let me in. And he comes in, he was in the toilet or whatever, the bar. Comes in, he's got makeup on and fucking look like long hair and all that. And I said, what's the cradle of filth? Heavy metal band, isn't it? I was like, sweet.
What a name of a band.
You're like this story, right? When I was younger, I slept around Nicky's house, right, on his front room floor. He come downstairs in a pair of black pants and a pair of black football socks and tried to give me a people's help.
Fucking hell.
That's true. Pair of wet wire fronts.
Out of nowhere, man. He just come out in a pair of black wire fronts.
But don't forget, I had the elbow pads.
Yeah.
Why did you have black wire fronts?
Because The Rock used to wear black pants, didn't he?
Is that why you got them? You bought them because The Rock had them?
No,
just like that. He went to give me the people's elbow, but it took him so long to get down. I got up and went home.
Fucking hell. I stopped wearing pants when I was like 8, and I started wearing boxers.
I used to have them for football. You used to have to keep your tackle in and when you used to go to football and that. It was like, you used to keep your nuts intact.
Oh, right. Yeah, for football.
I wonder what Ryan would look like with a beard. Mate, I've been trying to grow a beard for 36 years.
He's never had a shave.
I just can't get it. I just like, when I leave it, it goes here, goes round there, and then gets patches there, and I look like some sort of like homeless bloke.
Maybe someone can Photoshop it. Maybe someone can Photoshop Ryan with a beard.
You could do that. You could do one of them filters, can't you?
I agree with that. Can't be a bit of Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash, oh mate, what a singer, what a legend he is.
I watched his film. That was good with Joaquin Phoenix.
Walk the Line's a brilliant film. Joaquin Phoenix plays that role so well, and Reese Witherspoon plays June Carter. I love that film.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Absolutely love it. It's a brilliant film.
I've never seen it.
Honestly, mate, it's Joaquin Phoenix in it. He's unreal. He plays Johnny Cash. He's a quality actor.
Lone Star Londoner said, "Is this the Cooking Channel?" We've been talking about music for the past half hour.
This is Sing While You Cook channel.
He's got a delay on there, and he's got a fucking delay on his.
He said that last week.
Whipping up a cake, singing a bit of Westlife.
Nicky, a ponytail like Paul Heyman would oddly suit you.
Yes, please, Nick.
I can see Nicky with a 90s Big Show haircut, like Paul White haircut, or a Tony Tucker from Rise of the Foot Soldier.
Nick, your forfeit. Come on, it's got to be to have that ponytail, grow a ponytail. That'd be so good, man.
No, fuck off.
Did you watch the TV show Dream? Don't.
I found it so boring.
They're actually doing a reunion show on Twitter. I think it's tomorrow night. All the cast are getting back together to do a reunion show. I follow one of the Harchester United fan pages, and they're all getting back together. But Dream Team was the absolute nuts. He got a bit silly in the end, but the beginning ones were the bollocks.
I watched the first series when I was in the youth team.
Yeah, that's where it all started off, when it's Sean Hocknall and Carl Fletcher and all that in the youth team. And you had that bloke, the manager, I can't remember his name now, but he always reminded me of Alan Kirbishley for some reason.
Matt Gibney says Scott,
the other one,
Renford
Rejects.
No, that was a kids' program. That was too young for me.
Renford Rejects was no.
I remember that, but I lived in the same block for a little while in Barking. Do you remember the French guy that came into Dream Team?
Yeah.
Baptiste.
Baptista, wasn't it?
He lived in the same block as me in Barking.
Really?
I used to train at Fitness First in Leighton, and Curtis Alexander used to train in there. And he actually went on to be in Batman. He was in the Batman with Heath Ledger, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He was in the Dark Knight Returns.
I'll tell you what, mate, I'll never forget walking in there, seeing him on the running machine. And I've done that little sly one where I went next to him, and you kept looking at him, and I went, "Was you?" I knew it was him, but like, "Oh, you that bloke from Dream Team?" And he went, "Yeah." And I was just like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Oh, it's like meeting fucking your hero."
What was the guy? Was in Hollyoaks? What was his name? It was like a Mauritian-looking guy with a beard.
I know, yeah, he's just about the guy, the bald guy, the mixed race guy. He's gone on to American stuff.
Yeah, Ryan Black, wasn't it? He was.
I've met him.
I've got his name now.
Yeah, I met him.
We was having a presentation at West Ham for Newham, and they was in another room, and I met him coming out. He was going to the toilet, I was the same thing. I sort of like looked at him about 3 times. I went, GT. Yeah.
I shared a table with him at the after party at Mobo's.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Nick. Yeah. Sorry, Nick, to cut you off there.
Ricky Whittle.
Matt says, he's Ricky Whittle, but I'm sure he was thingy. What was his name in the show? I'm sure it was Ryan saying, wasn't it? Was it Ryan?
He's in that new American God series. It's quite good.
Yeah,
favorite sports films and West Ham fan.
Do you know, I love a good sport. I love them cliche sport films where they come in like the team's completely shit, and then like the new manager will come in and they'll just like.
Funny you should say that, Dan. I've got West Ham season reviews here from 1985, 86 all the way. My favourite sports film. I love Remember the Titans.
No,
with Denzel Washington, the American.
I'll be honest with you, I think that's the only right answer.
It's a true story.
I was going to say Mighty Ducks.
I love the Mighty Ducks as well, man. I love that.
Escape to Victory.
Escape to Victory is a great.
Do you remember Rookie of the Year with that guy from American Pie? And what he's a kid who breaks his arm, and all of a sudden he becomes really good at basketball. Not basketball, baseball, yeah. And he ends up playing like professional baseball because he broke his arm. Now he's fucking shit hot at it. That's a good film. Ernest, Slam Dunk Ernest. That was it. Slam Dunk Ernest. I love that film.
Kieran said it was Ryan Naismith. That was his name.
Ryan Naismith.
I knew it was Ryan something, but yeah,
he's a brother, wasn't he? There was
I love the Rocky films, obviously.
Yeah, Rocky's great.
Can't beat a Rocky film.
Anyone seen Any Given Sunday?
Yeah, with Al Pacino.
That was good.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. They always play that speech. In fact, that speech that he says in the changing room, Alan Pardew played that on the team bus in the playoff final before we beat Preston.
I'll tell you what else. Obviously, Mean Machine. I saw the English one first. Then I saw the Longest Yard American modern one. And then I tried to watch the Burt Reynolds one, right? I started watching it and they shaved off his moustache and I was like, I can't watch this.
What makes me laugh with that remake of that, the American remake of that, is when Burt Reynolds comes on and gets the touchdown at the end and he's all on the floor.
I think the English one, to me, like I said, I stopped watching the original American one, but I do love the English one with Vinnie Jones in it.
Yeah,
and it's
Danny Dyer.
Jason Statham, that was one of his like earlier roles as the nutty. Like,
he was what was his name in it? The monk. The monk.
Yeah, that was it. The monk.
He kept having daydreams about smashing everyone in. Nick Crossdamage, Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings has to be up there as top tier elite sport film. It is.
I don't know whether this counts as a sports film, but there's a film out. It's like a horror film.
Oh yeah,
and it's around sports. It's called The Fan. Hello. Did you ever see that?
Fan. That sounds familiar. Hello. That sounds familiar. Oh,
yeah.
Was that with who was it?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, Robert De Niro.
I've seen that. That's good days.
And he's like a stalker.
I don't know if it counts. Yeah, that's great.
Was it the other thing Cool Runnings as well when he says "kiss my lucky egg"?
Yeah. But I don't think Nicky. I don't think that really counts because it's not centered around sport. It's centered around the stalking.
It is centered around.
I feel like, well, no, but the sport. He's not a sports player, is he? Like, it's not.
He definitely
sport, is. No, the sport. No, but I'm saying the sport isn't the story. With what we're saying,
the Fan. That's the Wesley Snipes baseball film, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like a baseball player.
He gets obsession. He cuts his tattoo off of him, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's his rival.
Yeah,
he's got a rival, and like they're having like to and fro, and like to show his sort of dedication to him, he obviously kills him and cuts. He's got like a brand on his arm of his number, his favorite number. I don't know whether I can't remember whether it's his rival from another team or rival on the same team who's took his number and all of that sort of thing. And he cuts his tattoo off and sends it to him in the post. It gets a bit fucked up, to be honest with you. But
Sam Dean, Space Jam.
Someone said Dodgeball's brilliant, isn't it?
You know what? Funny enough, James, I watched Mike Bassett last night on ITV4. It was on because they showed the England-Germany Euro 96 semi-final last night.
I thought Scott was going to come in like the Undertaker. Did you see? He went all black and then he went out on a fucking coat.
To the screen, so I thought
I watched Mike Bassett last night and I forgot how funny that film was. There's one bit in it that always makes me laugh when Bradley Walsh in Brazil, when they tell him to go and get the football off the boys and he can't get it, and he starts smashing them around the back of the head. Fucking that is That's a brilliant film, Mike.
There's so many good ones, isn't there? Someone said Happy Gilmore, and that Happy Gilmore is that's a golf based one, and
I think
Ben Stiller in that is
that's got Apollo Creed in it.
Any sport, I think it's got to be Rocky. There's no more famous sports films than the Rocky films.
I love the Rocky films. I wasn't so keen on one and two. Like I watched, but number 3 is my favorite, and the reason is because as a kid, Hulk Hogan was everything. I loved Hulk Hogan. And when he was in Rocky 3,
this was my favorite film when I was a kid. Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner.
Yeah, me and my dad used to watch that time after time. Mate.
Really? It was so boring.
Bobby Boucher.
Waterboy. American football. That's great. Both of them films, Happy Gilmore and Waterboy, are 2 really good films.
They were probably 2 of his best, to be honest.
Do you remember when you used to do that, Nick? When you used to do the Bobby Boucher impression?
Yeah, we used to do it all the time. Do you know what bit I used to love when he used to go like that? I forgot the quote now. When he goes, he basically asked him if he wants a water boy, and he goes, "That's very cute, kid." What are you, 15, 16? I'm 32 years old.
Yeah. The Big Show goes, I bet that guy's a virgin.
Or the bit when he's standing in
Captain Insano.
Yeah, Captain Insano. I was just wondering if you need the services of a qualified water boy. He goes, "That's cute, kid. What are you, 30, 40?" He goes, "I'm 32 years old."
Yeah.
And the other bit I love, right? And it used to crack me up, not so much now because I watched it the other day and it wasn't that funny. But when I was a kid, you know that bit when he goes like that, "Let's go, water boy!" And he goes, like, "You sound like a big choo-choo train."
Yeah. I haven't seen that in years, man.
Boys, are you secret wrestling nuts? WCW, WWF. I won't say I was secret. I liked it when I was younger.
I was always WWF as a kid, and I remember when my nan once bought me WCW figures for my birthday. Man, I chucked them at her, and like I was about 18. No, I was about 10 at the time or so. Like she bought me some Moody Sting and that, but I wasn't having none of it. Like, but yeah, do you know what? Funny enough, we were talking about this last week. Like I was talking, I remember. When I went to the Royal Albert Hall when I was a kid, it was the first wrestling event I ever went. And I actually looked up and found it on YouTube. And I forgot like the legends that were there. I'm talking proper wrestling legends. And I remember even Andre the Giant being there. And like he is a massive, like he's one of the best, like biggest stars of the WWF of all time. And he weren't wrestling. He come down and saved the British Bulldog. He hit Earthquake with a crutch.
I remember that.
Andre, man.
I was there. That was the first ever wrestling event I ever went to in about 91, I think it was. And he had like Undertaker, Ric Flair, Legion of Doom, the Rockers, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Like that's the era I grew up in. That's my era.
So safe to say WWF than you then, Ryan. I think that's probably the same for all of us, isn't it? Like, I think we all grew up. Like the thing is, when I used to go around my nan's to watch WWF Raw on TNT, it would be WCW. So you could watch like an hour of WCW before Raw starts, and then you could sort of change the channels back and forth on a Friday night.
I just couldn't get into WCW. I remember watching it once, and they had a wrestling match on a beach, and someone fell in the water, and they couldn't get out. But it was like it was like an inch tall, when he was pretending he was drowning.
NWO, come on.
But they was better when they come to the WWF.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, but that's because
wait. I've just thought of my favourite sports film.
What?
$1 Million Baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
I ain't seen it.
That's sad, man.
I've seen it, but I can't. Yeah, I've seen it years ago.
Yeah. What about that other boxing film? Was a Champ? Where he's like, champ, get up, champ. Yeah.
Boxing itself was not a bad
boxing. That's a sad
film.
one. Got the MMA film Warrior. That's a good one. There's loads of.
Yeah, that's with Tom Hardy in there.
Warrior,
yeah, Tom Hardy. Oh look, Cross Hammers, right? I need to talk about it. Cross Hammers, guys. I prefer Big Daddy and Giant A-Stacks, right? Do you know what? I'd go round my nan and granddad's on a Friday. I'd be watching Raw, right? My granddad would come in from the pub with his Chinese, pissed out of his head. He'd sit there and go, "That's not proper wrestling." When I watch wrestling, Big Daddy, Giant A-Stacks, That was proper wrestling. No, they didn't hit people with chairs, and he would just go on and on. And I'd get into
I like that. I like that wrestling film that came out a little while ago with The Rock in it, and it was about that girl.
No, yeah, that was good.
Fighting with a family or something.
Yeah.
I only watched that a week ago. That was quite good.
Yeah, it's quite good, that one.
But someone had mentioned The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. That was a brilliant film, man. The Wrestler, man. That was a good film.
I watched that.
I'll be honest with you. I only watched that Fighting with my family because people sent me porn films of the girl that was in it. I would have watched it.
What a reason to watch a film. What do you think? That you was going to see some of the scenes in the film?
No,
I'm
just saying. It's the only reason it piqued my because I didn't know who the woman was. I would have watched it otherwise.
What a reason.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, here we go. Look at the sex scene here.
No, I didn't say that. I just didn't know who the woman was until someone sent me their video.
Lewis Wright.
And you know that Scott.
Oh, Scott. Yeah, of course it would be Scott. But, no, I appreciate Lewis Wright said "Ready to Rumble." Has anyone else seen that film? I remember getting that on Sky Box Office with a David Arquette, and it was all the WCW wrestlers, and he was like going to become a wrestler, or it was really, on hindsight, it was bad, but it's entertaining back then. You guys should watch it.
I'll tell you what, though, one thing that I have done during lockdown, I've watched a lot of films. I've watched all the Hangover films. I don't know how many times I've seen the Hangover films.
Hangover 3 is awful. It is god awful.
Yeah, it's the worst out of the 3, but I still watch it. Like, I don't mind it, but number one just gets me all the time. I've seen that film so many times, and I still laugh.
Yeah, number one.
Yeah, someone just said there, Jerry Maguire. That's a brilliant sport. That's a brilliant film.
Show me the money.
Right, what we're watching. Let's finish off with Netflix recommendations and to finish the lockdown weekend.
I don't know. I ain't really been watching any. I'll tell you what. I watched a film that was proper shit horror. I was looking for a horror film because I love horror films. Love them. Watch it. There's not one scary movie I won't watch. And it was called Look Away or something like that. And it was about this woman this girl that her reflection started talking back to her, and it turned out it was her twin sister or something like that died in the womb. And it was just one of them films that you're watching it and you're like, oh, please, like I don't want to turn it off because I know something's going to happen. And you get an hour and a half in and nothing's happened. But yeah, I love all that horror stuff.
I watched a horror film called, oh fuck me, what was it called? I'll tell you the story, and one of you might have been able to see it, right? There's a load of people in an alternate universe that are the same, and they come into that world and try and take over, start killing all the people.
I ain't seen it.
Black lady in it. They can't talk.
Murder She Wrote.
Oh no!
What is it again?
It talks like this.
Oh, that's
Us.
Us.
I've not seen that yet. I want to see that.
Is it Us?
That's Us.
Yeah. There's another one in there by the same director.
Yeah, there's one for you, mate. Wait before you go, all right.
Well,
Dan was in that.
I was in that film. You may have recognised me from that film. I was actually in Gottlieb's vs. Zombies. If you've seen it, it's truly an awful film. To be honest, it's not my proudest moment.
Right, go on.
No, I was just saying there is another one by the same director. I can't.
Yeah, you're talking about Get Out.
Get Out, yeah, that's the one. And there's also another one that I watched. Fuck it, my memory's terrible with films, but it's the one where the woman invites the kids round to her basement to have a party. It's like Mama or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that one.
Someone will tell us in here, but that was quite good. I actually enjoyed that film.
Mama's the one with the kids that are abandoned. They find the kids abandoned in somewhere in there.
That's it. Ma,
that's the one. Yeah.
I was saying to Nicky the other week, I watched the remake of Chucky.
Was it any good?
Do you know what? It wasn't that bad. It's a different storyline because obviously in the original one, the doll gets possessed, didn't he, by the murderer, the killer, serial killer. In this one, it don't. It's just some nutty geezer who puts a chip in the doll, but
puts a bad memory card in now. Puts one of Dan's ones in there.
Yeah, he's had enough.
But so wait, what's your recommend? I don't know what your recommendation is because we've just listed a lot of stuff.
My recommendation: if you're going to watch a film on Netflix, watch Superbad again because that is funny as fuck.
That was on last night, funny enough.
And if you're going to watch a series, watch The Witcher.
I've just started watching that.
Yeah,
that's good.
The books are better, but
I'll tell you a good series to watch if you like, because I always like supporting English actors and that. And have you seen Bulletproof with Noel Clarke? Honestly, it's brilliant. It's Is that on Sky? Yeah, Sky One.
Yeah,
honestly, it's brilliant. I've watched both seasons back, like binge watched them. Honestly, it's pucker. Some good actors in there as well, and I've always been like that. I like supporting British films and things like that because obviously the big American films get the worldwide publicity and all that.
Go on, Scott.
No, I was going to say the thing is in a lot of the Netflix stuff, like The Witcher. The Witcher's got a lot of British actors in it.
Including Superman.
Yep. I'm gonna go then something that's just completely the other way. That's got no British actors in it, no American actors. Just because it's the last thing I watched. A series called Switched, right? And it's a Japanese series because I've been getting back into my Japanese learning and that. So I watched this series, and it's like remember like Freaky Friday and that where they switch bodies and that, but it's like a darker twist. Like this girl who's bullied and shat on and everything switches bodies with this girl because she wants to be with her boyfriend and that. And they switch bodies, and now she has to be in this real shit life, and the other one's in a good life, and she's got to figure out how she can get her body back. Like really, really good, really different spin on it. So that's my recommendation. Switched.
Ryan says, "Watch Gangs of London." I actually have watched it all, and I liked it. I like that sort of stuff, but it was just some of their accents that were putting me off. But I enjoyed watching it. It was quite good. Good ending. It was good. It was good.
Good. Anyone else? Or are we done?
Well, I've finally seen season 1 of Afterlife after Graham recommended it. I'm going to start watching season 2 this weekend.
I don't think I've seen Afterlife.
It's worth it, mate. It's funny.
Afterlife? What?
Oh,
yeah, of course I have. The Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I've seen them both. Yeah, what am I fucking thinking of? Yeah. I don't know why my mind went blank there. Yeah, I've seen them both.
He's thinking about some sort of ghost or something.
There's a third series coming out of that.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Graham told me to watch it.
Do you know what? Yeah.
See, I'm not really a big fan of Ricky Gervais.
I like Ricky Gervais.
I'm one of these people. I've never really. I didn't like The Office. I didn't like, but I actually like.
I love The Office, right? And he was like, I'm only doing 2 series of things. I'm only two series of extras. Only 2 series of Office. But he gives us 3 series of Afterlife. But you couldn't give us 3 series of The Office. Like,
well, to be fair though, Dan, with how big Afterlife was, I think it was too mad for him to turn it down. The money.
No, but come on. He was offered so much money to do The Office. It was huge.
I don't think he should do a third one. Personally, of Afterlife, I think it should just end how it ended. But yes, I don't know. I suppose when you get that money chucked in your face as an actor, you do it.
I don't think it's the money. I just think he does what he wants to do. Office is, you think about like television series and all that. That's up there with the top.
Yeah, maybe I might give it another go because when that was on, like you got to remember, when did that come out? That was like
2000.
2000, yeah, it was a long time ago. So, and you grow up and your mind changes on things. Maybe I might give it another go, but I was more like I love Phoenix Nights and Max and Paddy and things like that.
That was a bit later though, wasn't it? Then
yeah.
Well, at the time, I think Office had come out, and I didn't watch The Office, and I used to work at the BBC, and he used to come in every day. I used to see him every day walking through the lobby and all that, chatting to everyone. And if I knew what a sort of comedy genius he'd turn out to be, man, I would have treasured them moments because he was a fucking funny bastard. Yeah, Office is brilliant. Extras is brilliant. Loved Derek. Afterlife's okay.
See, do you guys remember it was back in that day when The Office was at BBC on every Thursday, BBC 2, they had their comedy block on a Thursday evening. They did like 3 back-to-back comedies. So you'd have The Office, Goodness Gracious Me. You'd have, I don't know, there was one about police. You'd have Royal Family. Like, so there'd be all these.
Do you mean Thin Blue Line?
Thin Blue Line, yeah. Thin Blue Line. I think that was the one. But then they did a reality.
That was early 90s, man.
No, that was early. No. What it was like a sort of rip-off of The Office, but with police. But they had some brilliant Horrible. No one remembers that apart from.
I remember Horrible. Johnny.
You remember Horrible?
Yeah, I remember.
Johnny
It was
Vaughan,
Johnny
Ricky Grover.
Vaughan and Ricky Grover.
Yeah, Horrible.
And I'll tell you why I remember that, because I used to go to school with Ricky Grover's daughter.
Oh, did you? Bloody hell! I love that series, but it got cancelled after one series. But Thursday, BBC Two, right? Yeah, brilliant, man, for comedy. I loved it.
Right, boys, we've got to start wrapping it up now.
Yeah. My ears are sweating.
Manoli Mainas says, how do I obtain a West Ham Fan TV t-shirt? I would love to wear it over in Australia. WHFTV-merch.myshopify.com. I think the link's in the description down below. Thank you so much again, boys, for this lockdown. I know we deviate from the football, but it's the bits I enjoy the most is chatting to all you guys. As I say, as we start gearing up towards the Premier League restart, we're going to start gearing up the content again. Blockbusters is coming Monday, mark my words. And then we're going to, as I said,
we'll be sitting here next Friday and Nick will be saying, "Oh, what happened was."
No. I've got it on the hard drive up there. And I'm going to do it tomorrow.
One thing that we never say before we leave, I think we should say, right? If just say like you had a burning question, you ain't got to ask us, right? You can hit us up on like social media, like Twitter or Facebook, or you can get like our personal Twitter. So if you had a question for us, you can get us on like at West Ham Fan TV. If you've got a question for me personally, ask me at THE Lawless, the Lawless. You guys have all got numbers in yours, guys. So I
think what else we should do as well is like what we should do at the beginning of the show. We should always, at the end of the show, we should save 20 minutes where we just answer questions. So if we miss questions, they can repost them, and then we just do 20. Because it is hard sometimes when you're chatting along and all the questions are going up, and you do miss questions, and we don't mean to. Yeah,
I do pretty much read like as nearly all. I'm reading them as I go, but. Yeah, I mean, do you guys want to say, in case anyone has a question for you, quickly shout out your social media?
Yeah, if you've got a question for me, send it to Scott.
We'll get Scott to actually use his Twitter a bit more.
Follow me on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV.
Yeah, you don't even know it. Look, shut up.
At Nicky J82, because I'm the worst in social media. I've got the least followers.
Less than.
No, you're above me now, mate.
You've overtaken Scott. Yeah.
You've overtaken me. Yeah.
I don't. To be fair, I mean, I do a couple of posts or something like that, but I just mainly retweets and things like that. But I don't really go on it anymore. Like sometimes I'll have a look, see what's going on. But one thing I have done, and someone told me to do this, and it's the best thing I've ever done. They told me to unfollow people that are negative, and there was a few people that I used to follow that I used to sometimes I used to look forward to watching it, seeing what they say because I like seeing people moan. But I've unfollowed them. And my timeline has just been full of positive stuff. And honestly, it makes such a difference. And there's one person I'm thinking of now that he used to cram his shit down my throat, and now he can't. So
I'm checking to see if Ryan's unfollowed me.
No, I know you're talking about.
But what's your bloody Twitter, Ryan, for the fucking 50th time?
Oh, sorry.
Anyone what it is?
It's at Ryan Archer 84. Great year of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Scott, what's yours, mate?
Mine is Scott YC_31.
That's such a dad thing you guys do. You put your ages and your years of birth in your bloody social media names,
all right. Okay.
Yeah, but you got to remember when you signed up for like Twitter back in the days, like that was an easy thing to do, wasn't it? Like just put the year. I might change it then. I might just put something like Ice. Ryan Archer Ice Tea or something like that.
Tea Dog.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, you can hit us up on all of that or at West Ham Fan TV. So
and you can still, I'm going to do an old joke now. You can still reach Graham by carrier pigeon. And if you want to, if we want to get hold of him straight away, just
read
it. Shout out, please, to Ian Bishop. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
His birthday today.
Yeah, absolutely. Bish Blue Hammer. He's on Twitter.
To the big dog.
Should we shout out Graham's Twitter that he never uses?
Yeah, he got one. He's come off of it.
He's got one.
No, he's come off of it. He told me today.
At eyebrow 76.
Yeah, he got caught.
Oh. But you can follow it unless he's deleted it, even if you don't use it.
Yeah, but ain't he got his own fan club, Eyebrows Fan Club or something like that?
Yeah.
Graham Fan Club.
Right, to end the show, before we say our goodbyes, Jack Jarvis says, "Are we going down?"
No,
No, we're not.
I don't think we are. Even before lockdown and coronavirus come around, I still thought that with the remaining fixtures, we'd have just got enough points to stay up, and I'll stand by that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Thank you so much for getting involved in the chat tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know all the boys are thanking you as well. I'm not going to keep it too long. We got links in the description down below. You want to check any of that out, t-shirts and all that sort of stuff. Patreon. One thing left to say, boys.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons. Thank you very
See
much.
you next Friday.